Ellender stands back on the goal line with Hartwig. Last year, in the 2 games played, the Oilers won them both. The one during the regular season on Monday night, and then in the wild card playoff game, Houston eliminated Miami from the playoffs last season. Von Schumann, the rookie out of Oklahoma, kicks the ball with the wind. And the kick is short, surprisingly, to the 11-yard line to Hartwig. He's to the 20, running right, to the 25, and down at the 27-yard line. The Miami Dolphins defense has kept them in almost every game they've played this year.
Yeah, they've been terrific on defense. Their stats individually are not that impressive, but overall, they've really done a great job. To illustrate this point, they've only had 17 sacks, 12 interceptions, opposed to the Oilers, who have had 33 sacks and 20 interceptions.
And Pastorini is the quarterback. Earl Campbell and Wilson are the running backs. The give is to Campbell over the left side. Gets to the 30-yard line, to the 31, and that's all. He got 3. Bob Baumauer stopped him. Doug Betters is playing up front for Miami, along with Den Herter and Baumauer. The linebackers are Bocamper and Toll, Chambers and Gordon. Mike Barber, the tight end of the Oilers, was shaken up on the very first play from scrimmage as he cut down and was blocking down, trying to help Earl Campbell break loose.
Yes, and the tight end, with the way both teams play the zone defenses, is going to be very important in this game because you have to have a good tight end who can get through the zones, and especially if they double the outside receivers like both teams like to do, there's a chance that the tight end would be a very important factor in this game here tonight.
We have a timeout early because of the injury, and with the score, Houston nothing, Miami nothing. Let us take timeout.
Looking at the scores from Sunday, we'll go into detail a little bit later on, but here's what happened in the National Football League. New England defeated Buffalo 26-6. The Cowboys over the Giants in a field goal in the last minute of play, 16-14. Steelers routed the Redskins 38-7. Cleveland over Philadelphia 24-19. The Baltimore Colts outscored the Cincinnati Bengals 38-28. San Diego won over Kansas City 20-14. It was the Atlanta Falcons 17. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers 14, St. Louis Cardinals 37, Minnesota Vikings 7. Jets beat the Packers 27-22. Chicago Bears rolled over the Detroit Lions 35-7. Oakland defeated San Francisco 23-10. LA Rams 24, Seattle Seahawks nothing. And the Denver Broncos beat the New Orleans Saints in a defensive battle 10-3.
Mike Barber is being helped off the field. That really hurts the Houston Oilers.
Boy, it really does.
They came on the double tight end offense in the first play, Hank.
Yes, they did, and evidently they want to control the linebackers and keep them one-on-one on situations on early down so they can control them and try to run right at the defense, which is something that's very important when you play against a defense that plays the 3-4.
Conrad Rucker, second-year man out of Southern, is in at the tight end. He lines up on the right side. Tim Wilson, Earl Campbell in the backfield. Campbell got 3 on his first carry. 2nd and 7 from their own 31 for Houston. Going from our left to our right. Oh, and a flag goes down as there was contact made on the line. And it might have been a procedure call against Morris Towns, the offensive tackle of the Oilers.
You called it right, Jack. That's exactly what happened. Morris Towns, their offensive right tackle, jumped offside.
He's a big one, 6'4", 275. They haven't really been extremely happy with his play. Little difficulty with the referee's microphone here, but it was Morris Towns, illegal procedure, moving the ball back to the 21-yard line, making it 2nd down and 11. And Pastorini back to throw, swings it out to Campbell. He is brought down for a loss on the play. Driving through there was the linebacker, Rusty Chambers. It's tough to get Campbell one-on-one, but he didn't miss.
Well, you know, that was very, very close to being an excellent play, but Ed Fisher, who pulled on the play, the right guard, tried to block the linebacker. Chambers did not succeed in doing it. For that reason, the play didn't work.
Houston lines up very rapidly. Now there's contact made on the line of scrimmage by Den Herter. Whether or not he was drawn across, I don't know. Looks like Towns did it again. It was 3rd down and 18, but Towns moved again, and Den Herter was smart enough to make contact and cause the flag to be thrown.
Yes, it was a very bright play on the part of Denherter because he saw the movement and immediately made contact. Not that it was necessary because really, there's the call. But any time an offensive lineman moves, automatically it's illegal procedure.
Now it is 3rd down and 23. Glenn Blackwood, an extra defensive back, and Ernest Roll, an extra linebacker in. And here is the draw play. And it comes only across the 24-yard line, the 23-yard line to Tim Wilson. And the tackle made by Larry Gordon. The defense has prevailed for Miami, and Houston is going to be kicking into the wind here. And so Miami should get the ball in great field position. They send Tony Nathan back to field the punt, which will be forthcoming from Cliff Parsley. Parsley has averaged 42.5 yards a kick. He'll get it away from inside his 15-yard line. Nathan has done very well on punt returns with a 15-yard average. Here's a high kick and a dandy by Parsley. The ball is fielded on the 31, and the tackle made immediately on Tony Nathan. Great coverage downfield after a fine punt, and Carter Hartwig was down to make the hit after the 47-yard punt. And Miami will take over deep in their own territory and didn't get the good field position I thought they would.
No, it looked like it was going to be an obvious good situation for Miami, but boy, you have to give him a lot of credit. He really pumped it up there good and got it off in good shape.
Miami is at their own 31-yard line. Bob Greasy at the controls. Gary Davis and Larry Zonka are in the backfield with him.
One thing is very important for Miami tonight. They have to throw the ball on first down quite a bit because it's hard. This is a hard team to run against consistently, especially on first down.
And on first down, Greasy gives the ball to Davis. He gets only a yard over the right side. What Hank Stram said previously turned out to be true there. Miami playing without their all-pro center, Jim Langer. He had played 135 consecutive games.
Yes, and it's going to be quite a match here between Denard, the young offensive center, and Curly Culp. Boy, that's a tough one for the young offensive center to cope with tonight.
2nd and 9, and Bob Greasy is back to throw. Fires over the middle, and it's caught at the 39-yard line. The tackle made immediately. Coming out of the backfield was Davis, who caught 10 passes last year. And Darrell Hunt, the inside linebacker, made the hit. Davis caught 10 passes last week to set a Miami record.
You know, the other thing that's going to be really important in this game, Jack, is the fact that Miami wants to keep, I would think, the Houston defense into a 3-4 alignment because it's a lot better to pass, easier to pass against a 3-4. Now, in passing situations, they put Curly Culp on the guard, and boy, that's when it's tougher for people to block him on passing situations when they go into an even spacing.
3rd down and 2 from their own 38. Here comes Davis running to the left side, tackled with no gain on the play. Tackled right at the line of scrimmage, and great penetration was made by Greg Bingham. And Miami's turn to punt now. Their kicker is George Roberts. He has averaged 37 yards a kick. It was Uriel Harris who caught those 10 passes last week and set the record. But Davis is very good catching the ball for Miami coming out of the backfield. Richard Ellender is back inside his 20 waiting for the kick from Roberts. 4 minutes have been played, no score. The left-footed kicker booms the dandy way down to the 8-yard line. Taken by Ellender, back up to the 10, across the 15, but did not get to the 20-yard line. Miami had good coverage by Don Vesalou, a defensive back. A 55-yard kick, a 13-yard return, a timeout on the field with the score Miami nothing, Houston nothing.
A closer look at the games played in the National Football League on Sunday. A combination of having dealt with pressure and being new to pressure spelled the difference. The Dallas Cowboys 16-14 last-minute victory over the New York Giants. The Giants led 14-13 with under 2 minutes to go. But quarterback Roger Staubach drove his team from its own 9 to set up Rafael Stefanian's 22-yard field goal with 3 seconds on the clock. In other NFL action, there was another last-minute victory chalked up by the Cleveland Browns. Fullback Mike Pruitt ran 24 yards for a TD as the Browns beat the Philadelphia Eagles 24-19. Elsewhere, Terry Bradshaw had a big passing day and leading the Pittsburgh Steelers to a 38-7 blitz of the Washington Redskins. Bradshaw passed for 318 yards and 4 touchdowns. The New York Jets, meanwhile, their offense put in a usual good rushing performance to beat the Green Bay Packers 27-22. The NFL's top rushing team piled up 246 yards. We'll look at the rest of the game next chance we get.
The first 4 minutes of this game has gone by, and an exchange of punts, and Miami made out the better of the two. Houston has the ball back at their 19-yard line, first down. They still have Conrad Rucker in there at tight end, but Mike Barber injured earlier. Ken Burrow is to the right, Rich Castor the other wide receiver. Here's a give to Campbell, trying to go up the middle. He bounced off one tackle, goes to the left outside, got about 3 yards with a very good effort before the stop was made by Gerald Small.
They started the last series exactly the same way by giving the ball to Campbell on a straight-ahead handoff. And usually, that play doesn't look very much, but after you unpile everybody, it winds up 2nd and 5 usually, and that's exactly what the situation is here. It is 2nd and 5.
Campbell has a thigh injury, which has been nagging him. Prior to tonight, he had gained 812 yards. 2nd and 5 from their own 23 for the Oilers. Mock at center. Pastorini under center, calling the signals. Gives the ball to Wilson, and he gets only to the 26-yard line. Upended by Bob Baumauer. He's been around for 5 years now from Alabama. He really plugged up that hole in a big hurry.
Yes, and they're using a double tight end offense, a scheme of things, a package from their double tight. They have at tight end Rucker playing one tight end position, and then they have Casper, Rich Castor, I should say, playing the other.
3rd down and 3 for the Oilers from their own 26. Campbell and Wilson in the backfield. The give is to Wilson. Campbell blocking for him. Didn't get the block made. The tackle made by Chambers from behind. A gain of only a yard, and Houston will have to kick again. And a sputtering start for the Oilers. 9:15 left in the first quarter. This Miami defense is good. You don't push them around.
Yeah, there's something special, and they keep digging and clawing and making something happen, and they reduce the size of the field for their offense. And then the offense takes advantage of the situation, and that's how they get the points. But they're playing terrifically well defensively.
Tony Nathan is deep, waiting for the Cliff Parsley punt. He'll get it away from inside his 20-yard line, again kicking into the wind. I wouldn't be surprised we don't have a 15-yard punt by somebody before this night is over.
Incidentally, Parsley, we drafted Parsley 6 when I was at New Orleans. He's a very fine kicker, but a slow kicker.
And not too good a kick. It comes out near midfield. It's bobbled at midfield down to the 45-yard line. The ball is returned by Miami. Coming up with the ball was Jimmy Cephalo. He bobbled it for a moment, but he takes the ball to the Houston 41. And the Dolphins are in good shape to roll. Darrell Hunt was the tackler. 8:31 left in the first quarter. With the score, Houston nothing, Miami nothing. Let's take time out.
Other action on Sunday in the NFL, Otis Anderson became the first St. Louis rookie to rush for 1,000 yards in the season as the Cardinals crushed the Minnesota Vikings 37-7. Other action found Pat Hayden passing for 172 yards and 2 touchdowns before breaking a finger in his passing hand as the Los Angeles Rams shut out the Seattle Seahawks 24-0. The Seattle offense was held to a league record -7 yards. Hayden will be out of action, by the way, for at least a week. Denver quarterback Craig Morton had his 4th straight 200-yard passing day as the Broncos pranced past the New Orleans Saints. That score was 10-3. The San Diego Chargers stayed tied with Denver for the lead in the AFC West with a hard-fought 20-14 win over the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Oakland Raiders stayed in the AFC West race by pounding their Bay Area rivals, the San Francisco 49ers, 23-10. Atlanta Falcons kept their title hopes alive in the NFC West with a 17-14 upset victory over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
The punt moments ago by Cliff Parsley of Houston was good for 21 yards, an 11-yard return. The line of scrimmage is the Houston 41. Looks like the Oilers are paying the price for taking the ball at the outset of the game after winning the coin toss.
Yeah, it could be a very disastrous thing before this thing is over with. And let's see if Greasy throws the ball on 1st and 10. I would think that he would.
Zonka and Gary Davis are in the backfield. And now they have the 3 wide receivers in. A toss to Davis, running right, cuts it back, moves inside the 40, moves down near the 38-yard line. They had taken Zonka out to put in the extra wide receiver. Curly Culp, the nose guard, made the tackle.
And they lined him up on the left side. That is Bruce Hardy. Sent him in motion to the right, anchored as the wingback to get extra blocking strength on the outside. But with all that movement and trying to get the advantage, they really didn't do much on the play.
Now the extra tight end is out, and Larry Zonka is back in. It's second down and 7 from the 38-yard line of Houston for the Dolphins. Greasy at the controls. Tight end is on the left side. That's Hardy. On second down, a draw to Davis, and he picks his way nicely inside the 35, inside the 30, down to the 25 for the first down of the evening. And the tackle made by Vernon Perry on Gary Davis, and he really picked his way on that draw. Used the blocks perfectly.
Yes, and the other thing that was important on the play, the defense of the Houston Oilers that time, they were using a double covering the outside receivers, which left the middle wide open once the ball carrier got into that area. For that reason, he had a lot of running room, took advantage of it, and made a nice gain on the play.
13 yards is what it was to the 25 of Houston. The Dolphins come out in the I formation with Zonka the up man, Davis the tailback, and on first down, Greasy starts more in motion. He gives to Zonka, who carries down to the 22-yard line. He picked up 3. Zonka, reborn this year. If you had seen him last year with the Giants, you wouldn't believe he'd do what he's doing this year for the Dolphins.
Well, he's much lighter. He came into camp, I think, initially when he signed with the Dolphins, weighing about 257. They let some air out of the balloon, so to speak, and got him down to 237, and he's doing a great job.
The ball is at the 22 as Zonka carried for 3 at second down and 7. Duriel Harris and Nat Moore are the wide receivers, with Moore to the left side, Harris to the right. Greasy back to throw on second down. Stands in the pocket, throws it to the sideline, and it is a brilliant catch at the 16-yard line. And then out of bounds goes Gary Davis. What a pair of hands.
Boy, that was a fantastic reaching grab, one-handed stab. He looked like Willie Mays on that one. But he made a beautiful catch. It looked like it was going to be out in front too much. But he did a great job of jumping. The timing was perfect. Made a great catch on the play.
He caught it over the linebacker, Robert Brazil. And Ronnie Lee, the tight end, comes in to join Bruce Hardy. 2 tight ends. It's 3rd and 1 from the 16-yard line of Houston. Split backs, Davis and Zonka. 3rd and 1. Greasy with a long count. To Zonka, and he pops right to the 15-yard line, and we'll see what kind of forward progress he got. I kind of think he made it. Curly Culp ended the play, but it looked like Zonka got the 1 yard plus that was needed for the second Miami first down of the evening, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I think you are, Jack. Boy, I tell you, Denard's really going to have a snoozeful here tonight trying to block Curly Culp on that out spacing meaning that Curly Culp is lining up on the offensive center, who is Mark Denard, the young offensive center who played his collegiate football at Texas A&M, and they like him very much and think he's going to do a great job.
Denard took over when Jim Langer was hurt, and Langer has already been operated on for a leg injury after having played 135 consecutive games. Zonka got the first down by inches at the 15-yard line of Houston. The second first down for Miami. 6:12 left in the first quarter. No score. First down for the Dolphins. They're moving from our right to our left, and they have the wind advantage here. This game had only 70,000 tickets sold before today, but now it looks like it's 75,000 and sold out.
Curly Culp is about 20 pounds heavier than Denard. Denard is 6'1", 250. Curly Culp is 6'1", 270. So he's going to have a real struggle all night long.
On first down with Davis and Zonka in the backfield. Greasy back to throw on first down. Over the middle and incomplete. He intended that one for his tight end, Bruce Hardy, who had caught 22 passes previously. They've made good use of him. You remember when they had Andre Tillman here with Miami, what a force he was.
Yes, he was, and of course he broke a leg early in the season. And the young tight end, Bruce Hardy, who also was a quarterback in college, great athlete.
Miami is without Del Williams. He has rib injuries. Norm Bulash has a broken jaw. He may be finished for his career. Jim Langer, whom we mentioned, is out, along with Andre Tillman. So injuries have struck this club at 2nd and 10 from the 15.
And Houston is now in a 4-man front. Curly Culp now is playing over the offensive right guard.
Big hit right on Davis, right at the line of scrimmage. They ran right into that new alignment of Houston.
Yes, they did. They had 4 defensive linemen in the game, and they play that extremely well, and they've been very effective with it. Ken Kennard that time was the one making the play.
He had come in to become the 4th down lineman, and he was right there when Davis tried to pick up some yards and couldn't. It's 3rd down and 10 from the 15. 5:15 remaining in the first quarter. Clock running, no score. Wide receivers left and right with Durio Harris to the left. Tony Nathan is in there now for Miami. Greasy back to throw. Looks and pumps it down to the sideline, and incomplete beyond the reach of the tight end, Bruce Hardy, and it'll be 4th down. Well, Greasy said, if I'm not going to complete it, it's not going to be intercepted.
Boy, he had to split in on the left side. He was so open, it was just ridiculous that time. Cephalo ran an in-and-out pattern on the right corner and was really open on the play.
Uwe von Schamann comes in, the rookie out of Oklahoma. He has kicked 12 out of 18 field goal attempts. The ball will be held by Don Strock on the 22, so a 32-yard attempt. With exactly 5 minutes left in the first quarter. High snap. Strock gets it down, and von Schamann gets it up, and Miami is first to score here tonight. 3-0. A pause in the action, and let's take time out.
Let's finish up our rundown of the NFL games played on Sunday. Steve Grogan passed for 350 yards and 3 touchdowns as the New England Patriots battered the Buffalo Bills 26-6. Baltimore Colts, meanwhile, lost the services of quarterback Burt Jones when he re-injured his shoulder. But backup Greg Landry came in to pass for 2 touchdowns, and the Colts beat the Cincinnati Bengals 38-28. Walter Payton chalked up the 32nd 100-yard rushing performance of his illustrious career as the Chicago Bears clawed the Detroit Lions 35-7. Getting back to the Colts, quarterback Burt Jones, doctors in Baltimore today say that Jones has suffered a new shoulder injury and will be sidelined indefinitely. The injury apparently is unrelated to other shoulder problems that kept Jones off the field much of the past 2 seasons. And wide receiver Harold Carmichael of the Philadelphia Eagles set an NFL record yesterday in a game against the Cleveland Browns, but he caught a pass in his 106th consecutive game. We'll chat more about that later.
We had a 21-yard punt by Houston, 2 first downs by Miami, and a field goal of 32 yards by Uwe von Schamann, and it is 3-0. Favor the Dolphins with 4:55 left in the first quarter. 2 rookies, Richard Ellender and Carter Hartwig, are back to get the kickoff.
Jack, you mentioned earlier in the game that maybe somebody would kick a 20-yard kick. You missed it by a yard, but you were sure right. And that was a big play and a deciding factor in the fact that they're leading now 3-0.
Ellender takes the ball on the goal line. He's quickly up to the 15, to the 20, and to the 25, and stumbles forward to the 27-yard line with a good return of 27 yards before Glenn Blackwood stopped him. Ellender has averaged 21 yards a return. This time it was 27 and a first down for Houston. Houston's an explosive club when they get going, but they've had the ball twice now and had to punt.
Yes, and Campbell is the key. Campbell has to be able to run well for the offense of the Houston Oilers to be progressive and do a good job.
He's in the backfield with Tim Wilson, and the give is to Wilson. Picks his way over the left side, gets to the 31. And he picked up 4 yards on the play. Gerald Small up from the secondary to make the stop. Campbell has had a nagging thigh ailment. They thought maybe it had something to do with the knee, but it did not. When he's not perking, they're not very much, are they?
No, they're really not. It's really a taffy pull if he can't play well.
Ball at their own 31 for Pastorini. Both wide receivers are to the left, Castor and Burrow. And on second down, motion by Castor, and the give to Campbell running right, and hit. Dropped short of the 35-yard line. Got only to the 34, picked up 2, and it's going to be 3rd down and 3. The tackler was Vern Den Herter. He had good movement from his defensive end position.
Yes, he did, and Kenny Burrow went in motion that time, left to right, and it looked like he did not take a step away from the line of scrimmage when he went upfield, and it could have been a penalty.
We haven't had any penalties here in the early going. 3:40 left in the first quarter. 3rd down and 3 for Houston. They put in, the tight end is Conrad Rucker. Mike Farber was injured earlier and hasn't returned. Burrow is on the right. Castor to the left. Pastorini on 3rd and 3. Gives to Campbell running left. Cuts it upfield and looks like he might have made the first down with that last effort. At about the 38-yard line of Houston. If they made a first down, it will be their first of the night. He knew where he had to go, and he unloaded right at the point of impact, didn't he?
There's a great illustration of how much respect they have for Earl Campbell. Most teams would run the ball on 3rd and 3. They have enough confidence in Campbell They ran it at the bubble. He stuffed it right in there and came up with the yardage for the first down.
The first down of the night for the Oilers. The ball at their own 38. 3:06 remaining in the first quarter. 3-0 in favor of Miami. Tim Foley was the last tackler. Now Pastorini goes to the sideline to... Well, Miami insisted on a measurement. They got it. It is a first down for Houston. Pastorini has Carl Mock at center, Conway Heyman, Ed Fisher at the guards, Morris Towns and Leon Gray at the tackle. They lost Greg Sampson off of that offensive line, and Houston has lost some of their regulars on defense. Castor and Burrow are to the right. Tight end is on the left side. That's Rucker. Castor in motion. The give to Campbell, running left. A lot of blockers out there. Moves across the 40, gets to the 45. He got about 8 yards on the play before being bumped out of bounds by Doug Betters. Betters playing in place of Dewey at the defensive end position. Both teams use the 3-4, Hank.
Yes, and they both use it as well as anybody in the league. It's very obvious as we watch this game unfold, the plan evidently for the Oilers is to run to their left. They made most of their yardage, whatever they've made so far, running at Doug Betters, and also the right linebacker, Larry Gordon. Campbell is 5 for 23 so far in the game.
And he picked up 8 on that last jaunt, out to the 46. And here is the give to the other running back, and that's Tim Wilson. He went up over the top trying to get the first down and came very close to it. Bob Baumauer caught him in midair. We have less than 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter, 1:55. It's going to be third down in the yard for Houston. They kind of think, evidently, that they can grind it out against Miami. That's been difficult to do. Miami has allowed only 100 yards rushing per game.
Yes, and they're number one against the rush going into the game, statistically speaking, third against the pass, so they're tough to do any business on anyhow, regardless what you do.
Third and inches from their own 47.
You don't think they'll give the ball to Campbell, do you?
There he goes over the left side. He ducks outside, gets the first down, goes to midfield, and he is out of bounds at the Miami 45-yard line. So quick for such a big man. Small got up and forced him out of bounds, but another Houston first down, and they have 2 on the evening.
You hate to be disrespectful, but, when he runs the football and then somebody else runs it, it looks like the other people are running in molasses compared to the way he gets off the ball and really gets upfield. Boy, he is really something special.
2 different worlds. When he gets that ball, he turns it up. He's full speed. It's apparent here at the outset.
Boy, he makes something happen. You talk about a back making something happen. He does.
The tight end is Conrad Rucker. Now they use the 2 tight end offense. And here is an end-around play to Castor down to the 40-yard line. And he is out of bounds near the Miami 35 with another first down. Castor lined up as a tight end, and then on the end-around play, he gained about 11 yards before Larry Gordon got him.
Yeah, they have a pretty good package from that formation. Castor is big enough to play tight end, so they'll line up the tight end with double tight end look on first down, and then on passing situations, he reduces from the formation and plays his normal outside position, which gives the offense a big plus.
Well, we said they might not be able to run against Miami, but they're doing it. A first down at the Dolphin 35 for the Oilers. Bob Carpenter's in the backfield. Pastorini is rushed and throws, and it's caught at the line of scrimmage, and a gain of only a yard by the running back, Carpenter, who had just come into the game. Pastorini did well to get rid of the ball under big pressure by Tim Foley and others. Foley was the one who covered on the play, and Dan Herter was chasing Pastorini.
Camper really got good penetration that time. Number 58 came across her in good shape, and for that reason, Pastorini was very, very lucky to get rid of the football.
Down to the 33-yard line of Miami, a pickup of 2, second and 8. Clock stopped, the out-of-bounds play. 1:05 left in the first quarter. Miami's on top 3-0. Houston, the second down and 8. From the 33 of the home club, the Dolphins. Pastorini sets the club and gives to Carpenter. Big hole up the middle, and it closes in a hurry as he gets to the 30-yard line for a gain of 3. It'll be 3rd and 5. Ernest Roan, the linebacker, filled the hole in a big hurry before Carpenter could get on track.
There was a great illustration of how difficult it is to move the ball from right to left from normal formations. Had he been in the I formation that time, he could have cut back in good shape and make made a big gain on the play.
Houston lines up in a hurry to try to prevent Miami from getting their third down people in there. And on third down, Pastorini back to throw. A little quickie at the line of scrimmage, and a tackle is made immediately. The ball came loose, but the play was whistled dead. And it is going to be fourth down. A swing pass out to the tight end, Rucker, and as soon as he caught it, he was popped. The play was ruled dead, a gain of about 2 yards, fourth down and 3 for Houston.
A very alert play by Tim Foley.
5 seconds left in the quarter.
But the great thing about a player like Foley, he didn't wait to be involved in the officiating. He picked the ball up just in case it started to run with it, because you never know how they're going to call it.
It'll be 4th and 4 when we resume the end of the first quarter with the score. Miami 3 and Houston nothing.
Getting back to that record set by wide receiver Harold Carmichael of the Eagles on Sunday. He set the record against the Cleveland Browns when he caught a pass in his 106th consecutive contest. Carmichael, a 9-year veteran, set the record when he caught a quick flanker screen pass from quarterback Ron Jaworski for a 5-yard gain with 12 minutes left in the first quarter. A sellout veteran stadium crowd gave him a long-standing ovation. The 6'8", 225-pound Carmichael began the streak in the fourth game of the 1972 season against the Washington Redskins. He continued the streak this year, catching 31 passes for 458 yards going into Sunday's game in Philadelphia. A college note, Florida State football coach Bobby Bowden has signed a new 5-year contract with the Seminoles. That contract is worth $500,000, and speculation that Bowden would leave the school. Florida State is unbeaten in 8 outings this season. The Seminoles were ranked 6th in last year's Associated Press poll. That's last week's Associated Press poll. The deal announced by Bowden and school president Bernie Schliger includes salary, guaranteed profit from Bowden's weekly TV show, and an expense account. The contract is self-renewing, meaning that an extra year automatically is added at the end of each season. Says Bowden, I wanted something that would fortify me in the bad years. So Florida State football coach Bobby Bowden has signed a new 5-year contract with the school.
We start the second quarter at the Orange Bowl in Miami. Hank Stram and Jack Buck with you. And Tony Fritsch, the field goal kicker for Houston, has been terrific this year. He's kicked 12 out of 13. The ball will be held by Gifford Nielsen. It'll be a 46-yard attempt for Fritsch with the win. He has kicked a 50-yard field goal already this year. Nielsen gets it down. Fritsch gets it up, and it is smacked through the uprights to tie this game. 46 yards by Tony Fritsch. Boy, it helps to have such a consistent performer as that on your club.
Oh, and he pumped it through. There was no question whatsoever when it came up. It got up fast and was straight and true. Beautiful kick by Tony Fritsch.
I noticed the same thing you did, Hank. It got up in the air very quickly, and that's so pertinent to kicking.
Yes, and it's difficult sometimes for soccer-style kickers to get it up as quickly as a conventional kicker, but he got the flaps up fast that time.
Well, where will we be next Monday?
Next week, we'll be in Dallas for the Philadelphia game.
The Eagles lost a game yesterday, and in so doing, lost a game in the standings to the point now where Dallas is 8-2. Both the Eagles and Washington are 6-4, 2 games behind. So that'll be a big game next Monday night at 9 o'clock Eastern Time on CBS Radio. By the way, Brent Musburger will be joining us here at halftime with a summary of the weekend in the National Football League. Tony Nathan is back to receive the kickoff. He returned 186 yards for a touchdown this year for Miami. This kick is high and deep, and Nathan is 5 yards deep and says, no thanks. So it'll come out to the 20-yard line, and the Dolphins will take over in a tie game, 3-3, from their own 20, right at the outset of the second quarter.
Nathan down the kick in the end zone. Miami will take over on their own 20.
Yes, sir. Next Monday night, the Eagles at Dallas, down in Texas Stadium.
And Dallas really pulled one out yesterday in New York against the surprising New York Giants, who have done a terrific job the last 5 weeks. Had the game won and finally lost it with a field goal in the waning seconds of that game.
2 tight ends for Miami. Bruce Hardy and Ronnie Lee. Lee, a rookie out of Baylor. Reese has Zonka and Gary Davis in the backfield with him. And a fumble on the snap and a loose ball inside the 20-yard line. And Miami got it back, but they lost a couple of yards on the play. Greasy fumbled the ball and then got it back.
You know, that's one thing about a young, new offensive center. You take the snap between the quarterback and the center for granted. But when you have a youngster in there, and especially with a guy like Curly Culp on his nose all the time, all of a sudden your priorities change, and you're so concerned about blocking Curly Culp that you forget to bring the ball back up to the quarterback properly.
Moore and Harris are the wide receivers for Miami. With Moore to the right, 2nd and 12. Greasy gives the ball to Davis, running right, cuts it back, gets across the 20-yard line, and is smacked down right there. He was hit in a big hurry by Vernon Perry and J.C. Wilson. Wilson, first of all, and he ended the play right now.
Came up with a picture tackle, too, that time. Was nice and low, got underneath, used his arms, and drove him right into the turf, right on his back, right on his numbers, and that's the way you like to see it done.
3rd down and 10. Nothing doing on this series thus far for the Dolphins. Harris comes to the right. Nat Moore goes to the left. The tight end Hardy lines up on the right side. Tony Nathan is in there for Miami. With Davis, Zonka out. Here's a little swing pass out to the left. It's caught by Nathan across the 25, trying to get to the 30, but out of bounds before he did so and did not get the first down. He got 8 yards, and Bingham, the linebacker, wouldn't let him get 10.
Both teams are very conservative from a passing standpoint. Everything they do is a very low-risk, high-percentage kind of a pass, and I think it's an illustration of the kind of a game we're going to see here tonight.
You know, Houston has a record of 6-3. You talk to their rooters, they tell you if they lose this game because of the schedule in the days ahead, they're really in trouble. Talking about wild card, not even talking about catching Pittsburgh.
That's exactly right, because Cleveland, of course, is coming on like gangbusters. They're 7-3, and Sam Bertigliano and his fine staff have really done a remarkable job.
Here's the kick by Roberts and a fair catch called for by Richard Ellender inside his 35. The Oilers will take over from their own 33 with 13:02 remaining in the half. With a score, the Dolphins 3, the Oilers 3. Let's take time out.
While top-ranked Alabama increased its hold on the #1 spot, as pressed International's latest college football ratings this week, Southern California jumped from 5th to 3rd place, swapping positions with Ohio State. The Crimson Tide of Coach Bear Bryant received 33 first-place votes today for the 2nd straight week from the 42-member UPI Board of Coaches. Alabama boosted its overall point total to 615, a 47-point bulge over 2nd-ranked Nebraska, which received 5 first-place votes and 568 points. The Cornhuskers, now 8-0, managed to hold off Missouri 23-20 last weekend, and the Tigers elected to go for a winning touchdown instead of a tying field goal in the game's final play. Alabama, meanwhile, won its 8th straight game this year, a 24-7 triumph over Mississippi State to extend its nation's longest winning streak to 17 games. The Tide will face perhaps their stiffest challenge Saturday evening when they play Louisiana State in Baton Rouge.
The punt moments ago by Roberts of Miami, good for 44 yards into the wind.
A change here on defense for the Miami Dolphins, and I thought this might happen sometime pretty soon. A.J. Dewey now is occupying the right defensive end position. They have taken out Doug Betters. That's where they've run most of the time, to the offensive left. They evidently feel that maybe Dewey will give them more support at that position.
2 tight ends, and Campbell is the setback. From their own 33, a first down. The give to Campbell up the middle. Popped across the 35, gets out near the 36-yard line for a pickup of 3 with a straight power play right up the middle. That was on a first down carry, 12:50 left in the half. Tackled by Baumauer. So they have Denherter, Baumauer, and Dewey up front. Bocamper, Toll, Chambers, and Gordon are the linebackers. On the corners, it's Gerald Small and Norris Thomas. And Foley and Colsey are the safety men for Miami.
The tight end, if they throw the ball, should be in a pretty good position to catch some passes.
Here's Pastorini back to throw. He looks and drills it over the middle, and it's caught at the Miami 40-yard line for a big pickup for Houston. That's the first time it went to Kenny Burrow, and it's the first time it was a wide-open passing play.
Yes, and he really whistled at the RPM. Were really something special. It was a kind of a play-action pass, faking inside, had good time to throw the ball. Threw the ball inside on a slant pass, deep slant, to 0-0. Kenny Burrow. It's right on the money. Good for 24 yards.
And a first down to the Miami 40-yard line for Houston. Pastorini had some stuff on that ball. And he tosses the ball to Campbell, running left, cuts it back down to the 35-yard line and inside to the 34 of Miami. He got 6. Den Herter stopped him. And Houston has something going now.
Yes, they're using a double wing, double tight formation, which with Castor, it's one of the tight end positions, 2 wide receivers. But they got everybody stretched out all the way across the field. And that's what you want to do against the zone, to stretch it horizontally and also vertically. They did that exactly that time and then try to get a hat on everybody and just let Campbell pick his spot.
8 carries, 40 yards for Campbell. Second down and 4 Houston. Not many penalties in this game. I don't think we've seen a flag yet. That's great. On second down, here's Pastorini back to throw. He looks, throws long over the middle. And it is incomplete at the Miami 10. That's the play you were looking for down the middle, Hank.
Yes, they tried to hit Rucker that time, but they responded very well defensively. You have to give Tim Foley, number 25, a big plus of the gold star for the way he covered on the play.
Really not very good faking on the part of Pastorini, was it?
No, it really wasn't. And he threw the ball poorly. Had he thrown it on the outside, there might have been a chance, but he didn't throw it. He threw it on the inside, and for that reason, it was almost intercepted after the deflection.
Now it's 3rd and 4 for Houston. Renfro is in as a wide receiver, goes to the right, Ken Burrow to the left. 2 tight ends, Rucker and Castor, and here's a quarterback sneak. And the ball moves down to the 31-yard line. Ernest Roan stopped it. He is 1 yard short of a first down. A lot of times in a play situation like that, a quarterback sneak will open wide up for you for 10, 12, 15 yards.
Yes, you defend everybody on the offense except the quarterback, and they're so concerned about a pass and a passing situation that sometimes the quarterback can pop through there unexpectedly and really do a good job.
It's 4th down and a yard from the Miami 31. Nielsen holding at the 39. It's a 49-yard attempt by Fritz, who kicked one earlier. Of 46 yards. He boots this one, and it is no good. Came off to the left. Fritz, who has been very, very good, is 13 out of 15 now as he missed that 49-yard attempt with 10 minutes left in the half. There's the timeout on the field with the score. The Oilers 3, the Dolphins 3.
Let's look more at the latest UPR ratings for college football. Southern California with Paul McDonald passing for 380 yards and 3 touchdowns. Easily defeated Arizona 31-7 last Saturday and received 3 first-place votes and 521 points to edge past Houston, a 21-10 winner over TCU, which garnered the final first-place vote and tallied 509 points to remain in 4th place. Elsewhere, the Buckeyes of Ohio State received 478 points. That's 31 than last week, in dropping 2 notches, even after a convincing 44-7 victory over Illinois. Ohio State 9-0 entertains Iowa Saturday before taking on Michigan in its annual Big Ten clash, which may determine the conference's Rose Bowl representative. The rest of the top 10 remains unchanged. Number 6 Florida State rallied for 3 touchdowns in the final quarter, defeat Cincinnati 26-21, and boost its record to 8-0. Number 7 Oklahoma was a 38-7 winner over Kansas.
With 10 minutes left in the half, we've had only 2 penalties in this game, a couple of procedure calls against Morris Towns, the offensive tackle of Houston, but for the most part, these teams have been playing very, very well. Miami is at their own 31, a first down. Gary Davis, Larry Zonka split back. And back to throw, Greasy on first down. Looks and throws, and the ball is incomplete. Batted down almost into his face by Alvin Bethea, who came roaring in there, and Greasy unloaded.
Yeah, that was almost a boomerang shot, because right about the time he threw it, it came right back at him. Great penetration that time, and this is what Houston wants to get the Miami team involved in. Now they're in their 4-man line, and this is what they like to do best. And of course, I mentioned earlier that the Houston team has 33 sacks going into this game and 20 interceptions.
They down near got a sack that time. It's 2nd and 10 from the 31. Greasy back to throw again. Looks and throws, and it's caught at the 38-yard line. The tackle down at the 39, Gary Davis made the reception. It'll be third down and 2 to go for Miami. Bingham and Jefferson were covering. Jefferson, a rookie defensive back for the Oilers, and Robert Brazil was also in there. Third down and 2. 9.5 left in the half. Zonka comes out.
They take Kennard out, 71, and take out Baker, 75. And Baker, incidentally, has 14.5 sacks coming into this game. Drafted second. Really something special.
Tony Nathan in the backfield with Davis on 3rd and 2. Greasy back to throw. He looks and throws, and it is caught at the 45. And to midfield goes Davis down to the 45 of Houston, down to the 43 and out of bounds. A big play, good coverage, but Davis caught the ball over the cornerback, Semrich.
And Darrell Hunt had a chance at making a play on the ball. Greasy that time really kind of threw the ball falling away because he had pressure inside. The linebacker tried to get a swipe at the ball, but he didn't succeed in doing it. There was a missed tackle there also by Ted Washington, but he went downfield and made a big play on that forward pass from Bob Greasy.
That was on 3rd down. It was good for 18 yards to the 43-yard line of Houston with 8:54 remaining in the half. Greasy was throwing off his heels, but got the ball to the target. Davis. Now to Zonka, plowing to the 40-yard line, and just inside of the 39. Kennard was there to meet him. And Zonka got 3 yards.
Earlier in the game, Duriel Harris really had Stenrick turned around on an individual pattern, one-on-one. He went inside and outside, but Greasy did not see him. I wonder whether he might come back to that play somewhere on this drive.
The Miami wide receivers have not caught a pass. Harris goes to the left and Nat Moore to the right. 2nd and 7, and Greasy back to throw. Looks and throws down the middle, and it was incomplete. And howling about interference, but no flag, is Bruce Hardy, the tight end. He really thought he had been had, but no flag. Did you see the flag?
Yes, I did, and I thought perhaps they might call it, but really, it was a pretty good call. I think the fact that they didn't call it, coverage was good, and I think they made an honest attempt to make a play on the ball, and I don't think there was pass interference on the play.
Vernon Perry went up with the intended pass receiver, Bruce Hardy. Now Jimmy Cepolo comes in on 3rd down and 7 from the 40 of Houston. On 3rd down conversions, Miami has made a first down twice out of 5 attempts. Tony Nathan is in the backfield. Zonka is out. From the 40, 3rd and 7. 40 of Houston. Greasy back to throw. He looks. Throws long down the sideline, and the pass is incomplete. Both men went down, the intended receiver and the defensive man, Duriel Harris and the Houston player. They got their feet all tangled up. That was Perry again, and the crowd reacts, but no flag.
Yes, they double covered Duriel Harris that time, and they got tangled up going downfield, and it definitely was not pass interference. Both people were trying to go for the ball, and they stumbled in the process. No pass interference. At least I didn't think so, Jack.
I concur. 8:04 remaining in the half. And in to do the punting is George Roberts. He'll be kicking into the wind. He'll get it away from midfield. Richard Ellender stands at his 10. Houston will get the ball back as Roberts kicks it high. There should be dandy coverage. Fair catch called for, and Ellender takes it right at the 10-yard line. So Houston is pinned back at their 10 with 7:55 left in the half after a 31-yard punt. And with the score of the Oilers 3, the Dolphins 3, let's take time out.
Looking again at the UPI college football ratings that came out today. Getting to number 8, Texas is 8th ranked this week. They fought off Texas Tech last weekend 14-6. Number 9, Arkansas hammered Rice 34-7, and number 10, Michigan crushed Wisconsin 54-0. Looking at the second 10, number 11, Brigham Young, led by the superb passing of Mark Wilson, increased its record to 8-0 with a 30-7 triumph over Colorado State. Elsewhere among the second 10, rounding out the top 20, Pittsburgh knocked off Syracuse 28-21 to remain at number 12. Notre Dame blanked Navy 14-0, stay at number 13. Washington, meanwhile, moved to number 14 with a 28-24 triumph over California. And Purdue beat Iowa State 20-14 to advance to number 15. Baylor, which did not play last week, jumped 2 spots to number 16. Clemson, which makes its first appearance in the rankings after shocking Wake Forest 31-0, moved up to number 17. Temple, whose only loss with a one-point decision to Pittsburgh earlier this season, was number 18.
7:55 left in the half. Hank Stram and Jack Buck with you from the Orange Bowl in Miami. Some evening, isn't it, Hank?
Oh, it's fantastic. Beautiful.
And a good football game between the Dolphins and the Oilers. They're both 6-3, and it's a critical game for both. Not just because of the outcome of this one and the subsequent standings, but when you look at the schedule ahead for both teams, this game is mighty important. Renfro and Ken Burrow are the wide receivers. A lone setback is Campbell. The fans still booing the officials, but I think the fans are wrong. On first down from his own 10, the give to Campbell. He cracks out to the 14-yard line. Got 4, started up the middle, veered to the right. Steve Toll tackled him, stopped him, 2nd and 6.
Both teams are really employing a little bit the same personality from a formation standpoint. They're both using a double tight, double wing on occasions. And Houston especially is doing it a lot on first down, trying to get ahead on everybody and just letting Campbell take his spot and run to daylight.
He got 5 that trip out to the 15, so it's 2nd and 5. And he runs again up the middle, and he gets about 3 on this haul. Baumauer jammed it up for the Dolphins. We come down to 7:10 left in the half. And Campbell is piling up some yards. He's been a workhorse, and he has carried 10 times for 48 yards. That's very close to that 5-yard average.
Yes, and it doesn't look like anything fast to you. All you have to do, though, however, after he runs the ball, is look at the chains, and they keep moving.
3rd down and 2 from their own 18 for the Oilers. They put in Tim Wilson, put him on a wing, double wing formation with Carpenter. He's in motion now. And here's a toss to Campbell, tripped up in the backfield. What a great defensive play by Tim Foley, along with the linebacker, Rusty Chambers. They made great penetration and made the tackle.
Yes, that's exactly what happened. Foley came across there, met the flanker who was coming over in motion, got penetration, and knocked off Campbell before he really had much of a chance to make a play.
He knocked down the blocker, and Campbell wanted to go around him, but by that time there was help there for the Miami defenders. And here is the kick from Parsley. He is standing on the goal line waiting for the snap. And Tony Nathan stands at his own 44 Miami. Parsley kicking with the wind, has the odds going for him here. And he gets the kick away. And it drives the receiver Nathan back to the 43. Stumbles at the 48. He's covered immediately. But Miami's in a good spot at their own 48 as Nathan returned that ball. Carter Hartwig came down and tackled him. A 40-yard punt, a 3-yard return. Miami had to punt it away the last time they had it. They're at their own 48 with 5:43 remaining in the half, and we have a tie game 3-3.
Bob has been very conservative on first down. He hasn't thrown the ball very much. Let's see if he does it on this 1st and 10 situation.
Moore is to the right. Harris to the left on first down. A fake toss and a quick pass to the outside to Moore. He gets down to the 45 to the 40, breaks the tackle. Inside the 35, down to the 32-yard line. He fakes the toss to Zonka to his left, whirled and hit Moore. The first pass he's caught tonight. Good for 20 yards, and Darrell Hunt tackled it.
You know, the other thing, they were in an unbalanced line that time to the left side. Had an overload to the left, threw back over here to Nat Moore, made a very fine play, and a big first down.
Down to the 32. Let's pause 5 seconds for stations to identify themselves on the CBS Radio Network. This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service. Miami is at the Houston 32 with a first down after that pass play. Out of the I formation, here's the tailback, and that is Davis going to the 30-yard line for a couple of yards, following Zonka up the middle. Elvin Bethea made the tackle, 4:45 left in the half. Both teams sitting on it quite a bit, aren't they, Hank? It's not at all wide open like we saw last week with Atlanta and Seattle.
Yes, exactly right, and now they bring in Kennard, 71, and Baker, 75. And take out Bethea and Ted Washington and come in with 5 defensive backs.
The extra defensive back is Willie Alexander. It is 2nd down and 8 from the 30-yard line of Houston for the Dolphins. Back to pass. is Greasy. Swings it out over the middle at the 25-yard line. A tackle is broken by Davis, but only for a moment. Then he is dropped at the 25. It's going to be 3rd down and 3, and a flag is back. A flag is down, back in the Miami backfield. And that might be holding against the Dolphins. They are walking back as if the play is going to be called back.
Bob Brazil that time, number 52, the linebacker, made the open field tackle. And I tell you something, too, Jack. Boy, Greasy doesn't have much time to throw the ball. He's throwing and falling back. It's like throwing hand grenades out there because of the pressure.
You know, when you have a center like Denard, he might do his job almost up to par, but when other people try to help him out, then the entire offensive line breaks down.
You're exactly right, because you try to provide help, and then you hurt yourself if you're not careful.
Number 66, offense.
Here's a holding call against Larry Little. He is flanking Denard on the right side. Newman, the other guard. Kuchenberg and Current are the tackles. The ball is moved back to the 40-yard line of Houston.
That's one way to block Curly Culp. He's hard to block. You can try to hold him sometimes and hope that you're not caught, but that time he was caught. I think he'll run the ball here, Jack. Let's see if he does.
Gary Davis, Tony Nathan in the backfield. 2nd down and 18 for Miami from the Houston 40. And Greasy is back to throw. And he throws. And it is caught by Nathan. He's down inside the 30, inside the 25. He's very close to a first down before he stopped. Tony Nathan, the rookie out of Alabama, was finally stopped by Mike Reinfeldt. Reinfeldt, by the way, has intercepted 9 passes this year for Houston. Let's see where they mark the ball, and it kind of looks like he got a first down, doesn't it?
Yes, it was a nice-looking play. He had a one-on-one on a linebacker on the outside there, made a good move, and jumped to the outside, but he had Brazil one-on-one and licked him down the sideline.
They're going to measure to see if he has a first down at the 22 of Houston. Greasy is 7 out of 12 for 84 yards. That play came up short, about the length of the football. And it's going to be 3rd down. So they overcame the holding penalty in very good shape. That's hard to do.
Yes, and there's a great illustration of how unpredictable Bob Greasy is. He likes to run the ball a lot on 3rd down and long yardage situations. That time he threw the ball and threw it very successfully. Zonka's in, and Nat Moore, the wide receiver, comes out. John Giesler goes in as a tight end. He's a tackle by trade, and he wears number 79, so he has to report every time he comes in to play that tight end position. And if he doesn't report, it costs you. Yes, and Greasy, in this situation, on many occasions, has thrown a play-action pass. Hopefully with the anticipation of getting man-for-man coverage and getting a good fake to Zonka inside, this can be very effective.
Bart Starr used to do that, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
It is 3rd down and 1 from the 22 of Houston. Davis and Zonka in the backfield. Greasy gives the ball to Zonka, gets the first down inside the 20, down near the 17, 16-yard line. No flags are down, although there was a little bit of movement on the line just before the snap of the ball. J.C. Wilson tackled Zonka, but it's a first down Miami.
And one thing that Greasy does as good as anybody in the league, and he changes the rhythm of the count and tries to get you offside. It looked like he might have drawn somebody offside on that last play, but it looked like they had the hiccups, but he got away with it and made a nice gain on the play. But Houston looked like they were going to jump, but they got back in time.
Well, Miami started at their own 48. They're at the 17 now with a first down. 17 of Houston. Davis on a slant over the right side is knocked down inside the 15. The ball came loose. Recovered by Houston. Gary Davis was walloped.
Andy Doris really gave him a shot. Boy, he gave him a good shot. The defensive left end, Andy Doris, number 69.
And Brazil came away with the ball.
Yes, he did.
What a nasty fumble by Gary Davis. With 2:27 remaining in the half, and Miami apparently moving in for a score. That is, in the turnover department, the very first of the game for either club. And Houston has it at their 15-yard line. 2:27 remaining in the half. Pastorini back to throw on first down. He throws long down the sideline. And incomplete. He intended that one for his burner over there, Kenny Burrow.
They had a double cover on that time, and he was trying to get the ball between the cornerback and the safety who was playing deep outside, but he didn't quite succeed in getting the ball into the area like he wanted to, but he threw it wisely and threw it out of bounds if it wasn't going to be caught.
2:21 remaining in the half. 3-3 the score. Von Schaumann kicked a 32-yard field goal with about 5 minutes left in the first quarter to put Miami on top, and right at the outset of the second quarter, a 46-yarder by Fritz tied the game. It's second down and 10. Houston stays on the ground, gives the ball to Campbell, no place to go, and he lost a yard. Tim Foley came up very aggressively from his strong safety spot to make the hit. Pastorini is 4 out of 6 for 24 yards. And we'll come up to the 2-minute warning right here. When we resume, it'll be 3rd and 11 for Houston from their own 14. A pause in the action with the score, Houston 3, Dolphins 3. Let's take time out.
Again, let's look at the top 20 in college football. We left off with Wake Forest, which suffered its second loss of the year, dropping from number 14 to number 19. And Louisiana State, which beat Mississippi 28-24, held down the 20th spot. North Carolina, ranked number 17 last week, lost to Maryland 17-14. And Penn State, number 19 last week, dropped the 26-10 decision to Miami of Florida as both teams dropped from the rankings. And there you finally have all of it, college football. Looking now at the National Football League games coming up in the American Football Conference next weekend. Baltimore's at Miami, Buffalo at the New York Jets, New England at Denver, Pittsburgh will visit Kansas City, Houston will host Oakland, San Diego at Cincinnati, and Seattle at Cleveland. National Football Conference, Atlanta at New York Giants, Los Angeles at Chicago, Minnesota plays Green Bay at Milwaukee, St. Louis at Washington, San Francisco at Washington, San Francisco at New Orleans, rather, Tampa Bay at Detroit, next Monday night, Philadelphia at Dallas.
2 minutes left in the half. Score tied 3-3. 3rd-11 Houston from their own 14. And Hank Stram wants to talk about Earl Campbell.
Yeah, I'm very surprised that so far in this half, in this game, Earl Campbell has hardly run at all from the I formation. And this is a formation that he runs from so well because he's got such good view of everything that happens up front. He's such a great seam runner. By a seam runner, I mean that any time the defense stretches out and they leave any kind of a cavity inside, he takes it. He can see that well from the I formation, but they're not running him from the I formation, which is very, very surprising.
Burrow comes to the left along with Rucker, whom they split out. On 3rd down, Houston is 2 out of 6, and Pastorini's back to throw. Looks, runs out of the pocket. He's on the move. He's to the 15, to the 20. He gets the first down to the 25-yard line and moved out near the 30 for a first down. Glenn Blackwood brought him down, and Pastorini was very nimble that time and knew how far he had to go to get the first.
Yes, he really did a great job. He saw that he had some running room up the middle. He was very decisive, didn't waste any time, took it as quickly as he possibly could, and was able to make the yardage for the first down. Really a great play by Dan Pastorini.
Timeout called by Houston. Timeout on the field with the score, the Oilers 3 and the Dolphins 3.
Looking at the National Basketball Association, there's nothing on tap. No game scheduled on Monday. They're traveling. The Seattle Supersonics have brought an end to the 10-game winning streak built up by the Milwaukee Bucks. The Sonics hit 71% of their shots in the first half last night, went on to a 114-101 victory over the Bucks, who hadn't been beaten since the opening night of the NBA season. Elsewhere around the league, power forward Maurice Lucas poured in 6 points in overtime as the Portland Trail Blazers edged the San Antonio Spurs 127-124. And the New Jersey Nets saw a 20-point third-quarter lead wasted, but held on for a 101-98 win over the Kansas City Kings. Looking at the standings, Eastern Conference Atlantic Division, Philadelphia leads Boston by half a game. New York's 2.5 back. Central Division, Atlanta leads San Antonio by 1. Midwest Division of the Western Conference, Milwaukee on top of Kansas City by 5.5. In the Pacific Division, Portland with a record of 11-2 leads Los Angeles by 2. Phoenix and Seattle 3.5 back.
Pastorini just had his longest run of the year out to his own 28-yard line for a first down. And Houston used the timeout. Pastorini hands off to Campbell. He blows across the 30-yard line out near the 33. And he's tackled by Betters. I've noticed that on the runs of Campbell that he really hasn't broken anything for more than 24 yards this year.
And of course, I haven't seen him that much this year. This is the first time we've seen him, Jack, as you know. But he, again, is such a great runner from the I formation. I just can't understand why he's not running from that formation.
Here's Pastorini with a screen pass out to Tim Wilson, his running back, and Rusty Chambers came roaring up because Pastorini tipped the play a little too quickly. And Houston uses another timeout. It's going to be 3rd down and 6 from their own 32. Another pause in the action with the score. The Oilers 3, the Dolphins 3. Let's take timeout.
The New York Rangers may be on the verge of coming out of their early season doldrums. The Rangers rallied for 3 goals last night in the closing minutes of the 3rd period for a 4-2 victory over the Vancouver Canucks. That snapped a 5-game winless streak by the Rangers. In other National Hockey League action, the New York Islanders continue to sputter. Peter Sullivan's goal, with about 4 minutes left in the contest, gave the Winnipeg Jets a 4-all tie with last year's NHL point champion. Philadelphia Flyers, meanwhile, ran their unbeaten streak to 9 games with a 3-1 victory over the Buffalo Sabres. The Boston Bruins skated to a 2-1 win over the Oilers in Edmonton. Marcel Dion knocked in 3 goals and assisted on 2 others as the Los Angeles Kings outlasted the Chicago Blackhawks 5-3. And the Quebec Nordiques overwhelmed the Detroit Red Wings 5-1. Later on in the broadcast, we'll look at the standings in the National Hockey League.
Third down and 5, their own 32 for Houston. Back to throw, pass to Ree, rolls right, steps up, is back at the 24-yard line. Tim Bocamper would not turn it loose. That was a 3rd down play, and now Miami is calling timeout to try to stop the clock. They failed to do so. 108 remaining, 107, 105, and they still can't get the clock stopped.
Doug Betters that time, number 75, the defensive right end, also got good penetration and started the problem for Pastorini on that play.
Going to be 4th down and 14. Miami wanted to get the clock stopped, and it took 11 seconds for them to do so. We should point out, Hank, that not everybody on your squad on the field can call for timeout.
Exactly right. Only the designated captains can call timeout, either offensively or defensively.
And if your captain is way back upfield, why, it's very difficult sometimes to catch the attention of the officials.
And that's why it's so important to designate 2 captains on offense and defense, one a defensive back, another a lineman or a linebacker, so that you can relay that information to the official in time so that you can get the timeout called properly.
The way they are talking to the 2 coaches, I think perhaps they're going to give a few additional seconds to the Miami club, but that's only a guess. The clock says 101 left in the half. Score still tied 3-3. The line of scrimmage is the Houston 24, and it's 4th down and 14.
You know, Cliff Parsley is an excellent young kicker. Played his collegiate football at Oklahoma State. We drafted him, as I mentioned, 6th when I was at New Orleans, but he has really got a strong leg. He has to get the ball up a little higher when he does kick it.
Okay. 1:12 remaining. They give Miami the additional 11 seconds because the clock didn't stop, but the timeout had been asked for and granted.
Yes, and the other thing about Parsley is the fact that he must learn to kick the ball just a little quicker than he does. He has the habit of catching the ball against his body sometimes, which takes a little bit more time. Then he has to take it away from the body to make the kick, and sometimes he loses some valuable time and puts himself in a very precarious position.
He'll kick with a win from his own 15, and Tony Nathan stands at his 35 for Miami. The snap, the rush, and Parsley gets it away, and Nathan calls for a fair catch and takes it at the 34-yard line. The big rush by Miami, but procedure called against Houston. A flag has been thrown, and procedure called against Houston. You horse racing fans will want to stay tuned in for the excitement of the Washington, D.C. International Thoroughbred Race, Saturday, November 10th. For the 3rd consecutive year, CBS Radio Sports brings you this great event with Win Elliott covering the festivities in the color and Ray Haight calling the race at Laurel Race Course in Maryland. Listen here on most of these CBS Radio Network stations for the Washington, D.C. International Thoroughbred Race, November 10th. And next Monday night at 9 o'clock Eastern Time will be at Texas Stadium. It's the Eagles of Philadelphia at Dallas. Now Parsley will kick from about his 10. The line of scrimmage is the 19. The center is having difficulty because of the crowd noise. We ask for a little more time, and the official gives it to him and gives him a new football as well. The umpire does. Nathan is inside his 40. Here is the kick by Parsley, and they ran into him, but no flag. Nathan calls for a fair catch, takes it on the 35-yard line. The fans thought that he should have tried to return it, but he called for a fair catch because they had the big rush on to try to block it.
Yes, it was good judgment on his part. But they put a lot of pressure on Parsley, but he pumped it up there in good shape for 46 yards. A fine kick by young Cliff Parsley, who played his collegiate football at Oklahoma State.
Miami's back at their own 35. 1:01 still showing on the clock. Score tied, 3-3. Tony Nathan and Gary Davis are the running backs. Both threats when it comes to catching the ball. Uriel Harris comes to the right, Nat Moore to the left. Tight end is Hardy on the left side. And a whistle stops play and flags come down.
Left tackle that time, Bob Kuchenberg, started to do the backstroke too soon.
Procedure call against Miami. I suppose, Hank, we should talk a little bit more about the job that the second-year man out of Texas A&M. It was Kuchenberg with a false start, but Denard's done a pretty good job thus far, from what we've observed here.
Yes, talking to Don Shula this afternoon, he was very high on Mark. Thought he would do an excellent job here tonight, and in the event that he didn't do a good job, he was ready to put Kuchenberg in at the offensive center spot. So he had an all-veteran group, and they're doing a good job. There's no question about that.
Miami's back at their own 30, 1st and 15, and Greasy's back to throw, has ample time, and dumps it off short to Nathan, and he is whacked and brought down at the 35-yard line. He gained 5 yards on the play, and a good tackle by Ted Washington. Now we have 50 seconds remaining in the half, and the clock is running. Miami lines up in their hurry-up offense. Greasy sets the club, 2nd down and 10 from his own 35. Back to throw again. Screens it out here. Caught by Nathan, and he is tackled, and a loss of 2 on the play. A loss of 2. Gary Davis caught the ball, and Bingham dropped him. 25 seconds remaining in the half, and neither club is anxious to stop the clock now. It's going to be 3rd down and 12 from their own 33 for Miami. And they don't have to run any more plays. Looks like we're going to have this 3-3 deadlock at halftime. Well, they come out for one more.
Can't understand why Houston wouldn't have called timeout, Jack.
Nor I. Here's a 3rd down play, and Greasy stays on the ground, gives the ball to Nathan. He's to the 40, to the 45, to midfield, and the half comes to a close. No flags, and we end up with 3 points for each club. The gun sounds the end of the first half with the score. The Oilers 3 and Miami 3.
Let's look at the National Hockey League standings before we go back for the wrap-up of the ball game with Jack Buck and Hank Stram at the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida. In the Campbell Conference Patrick Division, remember, 2 points for a win, 1 point for a tie. Philadelphia 9, 1-1. And the Flyers have 19 points. They're way ahead of Atlanta. They have 13, followed by the Rangers and the Islanders 11 apiece. Washington 8. Smythe Division, Vancouver with 4 wins, 4 losses, 4 ties. A record like that, they're first in a very weak Smythe Division, 12 points. St. Louis and Winnipeg have 11. Chicago 9, Edmonton 8, and Colorado 6. Wales Conference, Norris Division, headed up by Montreal and Los Angeles, both 16 points. Montreal 7-3-2, Los Angeles 7-4-2. Hartford and Pittsburgh 10 points, Detroit 8. Adams Division, Buffalo has 16 points. Minnesota and Boston each have 15. Quebec 10. And in the Adams Division basement, the Toronto Maple Leafs with 9 points. One-game schedule on Monday, that's Washington and Montreal. We should have a score on that game coming up soon. On Tuesday, it picks up a little bit. There are 4 games around the National Hockey League. Los Angeles will be at the New York Islanders, Winnipeg at Atlanta, Hartford at Colorado, and Minnesota at Vancouver. On Sunday, the Islanders and Winnipeg fought to a 4-4 tie. Boston beat Edmonton 2-1. Rangers over Vancouver 4-2. Los Angeles 5, Chicago 3. Philadelphia defeated Buffalo 3-1. It was Quebec ripping Detroit 5-1. Here's a note in tennis from West Germany. Laura Dupont and Ann Smith won first-round matches Monday in a $100,000 women's tennis tournament in Stuttgart, West Germany. Dupont defeated fellow American Tori Holiday 6-4, 7-6, while Smith overwhelmed Czechoslovakia's Renata Pamanova by 6-2 and 6-love. And Sharon Walsh fell to Bettina Bunge of West Germany 6-4 and 6-2.
We have a local announcement. We have a found white Pekingese female dog in the Cardenas family area. It has a flea collar. If that's your dog, phone 855789. That's a white Pekingese female found in the Cardenas family area. It has a flea collar, and the phone number again, 855789.
And that helped Miami get the first points of the game. They passed to Gary Davis down to the 25. Another pass to the 16-yard line. Zonka went to the 50, but then Uwe von Schaumann had to kick a field goal of 32 yards, and Miami got on top, first of all, in this game with 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. The first quarter came to a close, 3-0 Miami, and then right at the start of the second quarter, Tony Fritsch booted one from 46 yards out to tie the game. He later missed a field goal try of 49 yards, Fritsch did, and then a big fumble by Miami. They were on the move when Gary Davis fumbled at the 15-yard line of Houston with 2:27 remaining in the half. An exchange of punts, and the half came to a close. We'll be back with Brent Musburger in just one moment.
More tennis. Top-seeded Billie Jean King Monday rallied from the edge of defeat to win the Stockholm Open tennis tournament in Sweden with a 6-3, 6-7, 7-5 victory over fifth-seeded Betty Stova of the Netherlands. After losing the first set and being down 4-2 in the second, the 34-year-old Stova got her serve going and changed the complexion of the match. Stova racked up 3 consecutive games and defeated King in a tiebreaker 7-4. Stova took leads of 3-1 and 4-2 in the third set over her 36-year-old opponent, but King came back to win the set and the match by 7-5. On Sunday in tennis, the U.S. doubles team of Chris Evert-Lloyd and Rosie Casals battered the British team of Sue Barker and Virginia Wade 6-love, 6-1. That gave the U.S. a 7-0 sweep of Britain to regain the Whiteman Cup Tennis Championship. Elsewhere, Bjorn Borg used his heavy top spin to keep Jimmy Carter's pin to the baseline and won the finals of a $300,000 Tokyo tennis tourney. Score was 6-2, 6-2.
Miami and Houston 3-3 at the half, and Brent Musburger only one turnover in the first half. The fumble by Miami, which apparently cost them some kind of points down at the 15-yard line of Houston. Both teams playing it very conservatively here tonight, aren't they?
They sure are, Jack, but I think that game will open up in the third period. I'll tell you, and Hank sound real good pushing that beer, too. That commercial is one of my favorites. They had, Jack, one of the most one-sided games in a long time yesterday up in Seattle. Rams defeated Seattle 24-0. The game was not nearly that close. Let Seattle announcer Pete Gross set the scene for you in the fourth quarter.
Fans hanging in pretty good. A lot of empty seats and a few fans still winding their way toward the exit. But quite a few fans hanging on here. Want to see if Seattle can score against this Ram ball club. Or maybe get the ball across midfield, I guess. That would be the first object this afternoon. Seahawks have only one first down. Rams with 25. Here's Zorn back on 3rd and long. Sets up. The rush comes. They got him again. They dump him for another sack back at the 17-yard line.
Zorn was sacked 6 times in the game. The Seahawks netted a grand total of -7 yards. That's the worst offense by a team in the history of the NFL. Afterwards, though, Jimmy was beaten but unbowed.
I can't hide my face or anything like that. I feel very embarrassed that our offense didn't perform up to its capabilities.
Now, Ram quarterback Pat Hayden broke a team record by completing 13 passes in a row.
Third down play. Hayden back for the pass. The back stay in. He throws deep toward the corner of the end zone. Touchdown, Rams!
That pass to Drew Hill made it 21-0 Rams, but that will be the last TD pass Pat's going to throw for a time. Just before the end of the first half, he broke the little finger on his passing hand. Pat, how long will you be out?
I don't know. We're going to have to go back and they're going to put a cast on it. They're going to look at some x-rays. I probably won't be able to play for 5-6 weeks.
So with backup Vince Ferragamo already injured, that means the Rams will start Alabama rookie Jeff Rutledge next week against the Bears in Chicago. And I'll be right back in 60 seconds.
The Associated Press has learned today that the sale of the Oakland A's and their move to Denver may be completed by the end of this month. A knowledgeable baseball source says the obstacle that blocked the deal in 1978 has been set aside. The source says the final details will be wrapped up this month and that the sale of the A's will be finalized at next month's winter meetings in Toronto. The would-be purchaser is Denver businessman Marvin Davis. He tried to buy the A's from Charlie Finley back in 1978, but the deal fell through primarily because of lease problems with the Oakland Coliseum. There are indications that Davis is already setting up a management team. It appears as though former New York Yankee president Al Rosen may be in line for a front office position. Meanwhile, nothing was decided Monday when executive members of the New York Mets family met to discuss the proposed sale of the National League Baseball Club. A number of people have been listed as interested parties. They include industrialist Robert Apollon and New York Islanders chairman John Pickett.
Pittsburgh, the Steelers routed Washington. Terry Bradshaw had career-high 311 yards and 4 touchdowns passing. Bradshaw and the Steelers are confident, but not overconfident.
You can't get to thinking that, we're a super team. We're a great football team. We're uncontrollable. We're awesome. We're a dynasty. You can't start... You can't ever let yourself start thinking along those terms, because you're going to be in for a big disappointment.
But right now, the Steelers certainly look like a dynasty, don't they? Meanwhile, over in the other conference, the Cowboys continue to, meander toward the Super Bowl. It took a long drive in the closing seconds, and Raphael Septien's field goal to finally defeat the Giants.
It's not really me that's doing it. See, but with Drew Pearson to catch the ball, with Roger Staubach that passed the ball, and Tony that run it. So they gave me just a little tip shot.
Most of the Cowboys, though, were disappointed, like defensive lineman Harvey Martin.
Well, we shouldn't have been in this situation. You know, the Giants are a good ball club, but we should have put them away in the first half. We had the opportunities to put them away early. And we gave them some light, and they're professionals, and they felt they could win. And it looked like they were going to win all the way down to 6 seconds.
In Philadelphia, another cliffhanger. Browns trailed by 9 in the final minutes, came back to defeat the Eagles 24-19. In the losers' locker room, linebacker John Bunning was unimpressed with the Browns.
I think Cleveland was ready to be beat today. I don't know whether it was because we laid a beautiful smoke screen by getting massacred by Cincinnati or what, but I think they're ready to be knocked off. And we did everything but do it. My biggest involvement in a gift in my entire career. That was a gift.
In that game, Harold Carmichael broke an NFL record, catching a pass in his 106th consecutive game. Owner Leonard Toast presented him with a 23-foot-high trophy, 23 feet. What a trophy case that's going to take. Back with more in 60 seconds.
Boston Red Sox team physicians are putting the finishing touches on some customized shoes for 40-year-old Carl Yastrzemski. They hope the shoes will let him keep on playing baseball despite troubles with his Achilles tendon. The shoe is essentially a baseball cleat with the addition of a quarter-inch heel, something no regular baseball shoe has. It's designed to balance Yaz's feet and keep the stress-prone tendons in proper alignment. The Columbus Dispatch in Ohio says the Columbus Clippers will name former San Francisco Giants manager Joe Altobelli as manager of the International League team at a news conference Tuesday. The newspaper says Clipper general manager George Sisler will neither confirm nor deny that Altobelli will be hired to replace Gene Michael, who is the new general manager of the parent New York Yankees. Altobelli was fired as manager of the Giants during last season and has been the leading candidate to succeed Michael.
In Baltimore, Burt Jones injured again, but the Colts won anyway. Greg Landry led them over the Bengals. Jones hurt his shoulder. It's a new injury. No word yet as to whether or not he can play Sunday. Atlanta finally won. They upset Tampa Bay, but in the process, they lost a fine rookie. Halfback Lynn Kane underwent knee surgery last night, out for the year. Now, with the loss by Tampa Bay, Chicago is back in the NFC Central race. The Bears had no trouble with Detroit, although the game was still close early in the second half. The Lions in punt formation.
The rush is on. They're attempting to block it to get it away. Frank really put in a strong outside rush. Schubert at the 22. Heads to the far side at the 25. Gets by to the 30. The 25. He pops into the clear. The 40. The 50. He's got a blocker. He's going to score. He's to the 20. 15. 10. 5. Touchdown. Steve Schubert. Oh, a beautiful punt return of 78 yards.
One sour note for the Bears. Receiver James Scott broke his ankle, out for the year. Now, if you're listening to this over KMOX in St. Louis, you might have heard something that sounded like this before the game.
Hello, I'm Otis. And I'm Theotis. And welcome to our show.
That's Cardinal rookie running backs Otis Anderson and Theotis Brown. They're already cashing in on a fringe benefit of being a pro. They got their own radio show every Monday night. Usually they talk about the Cardinals' efforts of the day before. Well, yesterday, Otis had a sensational day. Went over 1,000 yards rushing for the season and scored 2 touchdowns.
Everybody just did a great job offensively. And you're my roommate. I love you to death, but you threw a heck of a great block for me. What block? I don't want to refresh my memory. I really don't remember that block.
All right, Theotis. Here's Bob Starr to refresh your memory.
Corral is tight on the right side. They shift into the eye. Theotis Brown back in there around with Otis Anderson. In motion back to the left side goes Mel Gray. First down call. Pitch off to O.J. Sweeps the right. Gets the block. Gets the 30, 25, 20. That's the 15. He's going to go all the way for 5. Touchdown. O.J. Anderson. What a good block by Theotis Brown to spring
between them, Cardinal backs set an all-time record for St. Louis runners.
325 yards rushing by the offense. That's a record, isn't it? Well, it's still for 31 years, and what I know from what I heard,
31
31 years.
years, Otis. That record's been around about 10 years longer than you have. Jack Buck, seems like all the great stars of radio come out of St. Louis and KMOX. What is it about the weather there?
Well, we have a couple of budding stars there, and Otis and Otis. They do a good job. The fans love them, not only on Monday night with their program, Brent, but on Sunday afternoon. And by the way, that Otis, who played there on the West Coast, UCLA, is going to be heard from a lot more in the future. What do you think of the conservative approach of these two teams down here in the Orange Bowl tonight?
Well, I've really been surprised, Jack. You know, Bob Greasy has not thrown well. He finally aired it out a little bit last week. Maybe Hank Stram feels that both these coaches will have to put it up on top when we start the third period. Something's got to give.
Yeah, well, Hank's out getting a hot dog and a Budweiser right now. We'll get his comment a little bit later, and we'll talk to you next Monday, and that should be a good one, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it'll be a dandy next Monday. I'll tell you, the Eagles are going to snap back into form. You tell Hank he already weighs enough, will you, Jack? Stay away from that hot dog.
Thank you, Brent.
All right.
Brent Musburger with us at halftime, and the band has left the field. The Southwest Miami High School band, the Royal Lancers, did a great job of entertaining. Here come the Dolphins back. Shortly, the Oilers will come back. Once again, the score at halftime is Miami 3 and Houston 3.
Another baseball note. Even though the World Series, the season's over and everything, we're still having a lot of checker going on in baseball. The Montreal Expos have hired Galen Cisco as their pitching coach. Cisco has held the same post with the Kansas City Royals for the past 9 years. Cisco, a former pitcher with 3 Major League clubs, replaces Jim Brewer, who resigned last month. And the Toronto Blue Jays have purchased infielder Domingo Ramos from the Texas Rangers. The 31-year-old Ramos spent most of last season on option by the Rangers, the farm teams of the Blue Jays and New York Yankees. The Blue Jays also optioned infielder Dave McKay to their minor league affiliate in Syracuse, New York. He batted .218 in limited duty with Toronto.
A 3-3 score here at half, and Houston got the ball to start the game, so Miami will receive the second half kickoff. 75,000 fans here. They haven't had much to root about, Hank, because both clubs are taking no chances.
Yes, they're playing very conservative football, and justifiably so. Both teams are very concerned about not losing the game. That's what they don't want to lose the game.
You know, when you head into a game like that saying, let's not lose it, sometimes you don't win it.
No, that's exactly right, because then you're so concerned about waiting for something to happen that you really don't make something happen, and that's where you win football games, by making something happen.
Tony Fritsch will kick it off. He kicked a field goal in the first half, and that was 46 yards, and then he missed one from 49 yards out. Tony Nathan is back to get it. He can be a handful. He returned one for 86 yards earlier this year in a score. He'll return this one. Takes it on the 2. He's to the 5, running right to the 10, to the 15, to the 20. Cuts back, and he is whacked down at the 20-yard line. Boy, there's been a lot of good tackling here tonight. The rookie out of Oklahoma, Darrell Hunt, made that hit. I've admired the tackling, haven't you?
Yes, exactly. A great observation, Jack. But the good teams, they tackle, they block well. And football is a game of blocking, tackling, and execution, as everybody knows. And we're seeing exactly that here tonight.
We have an injured Houston player at the moment. Down is Kenny King, a running back at the 20-yard line right there where the tackle was made. But Miami takes over at their own 20-yard line. We should point out here that Houston has a game with Oakland in the Astrodome next week. That'll be a good one.
Yes, it should be.
And Baltimore plays here in the Orange Bowl against Miami next week.
And talking about Oakland, I talked to Al Davis this afternoon, and great news about Caroli, his wife. She's feeling much, much better, and so we all feel very happy about that.
Yes, we do. She'd had a heart attack and had a difficult time coming back from it, but evidently things are much brighter, and that is good news. Miami from their 20-yard line. Zonka and Gary Davis in the backfield with Greasy operating into the wind here in the third quarter. Greasy gives to Davis, following a block by Zonka, gets 5 yards on a slant over the left side. Ted Washington was there along with Robert Brazil to make the hit. And it is 1st and 5. What do these stats look like in that first half, Hank? I know the one impressive figure was only 1 turnover, that fumble by Miami, but that cost them.
Yeah, total first downs, 5 for the Houston Oilers, and 6 for Miami. Third down efficiency, 3 of 9 and 4 of 8.
Here's Gary Davis running right and cutting it back and gets the first down at the 31-yard line. J.C. Wilson up from the corner to make the hit. Looks like Miami has their mind made up. They're going to take it to the Oilers here. They're easier to throw on than they are to rush against.
Yes, and they're really stuffing it at him right now. And one of the key plays on 1st and 10 was the play that they ran to the left of Curly Culp with Larry Zonka, also helping the center, Denard, on the block on Curly Culp, and that's a tough one to handle.
It's a first down for Miami from their own 31. Wide receivers are Duriel Harris and Nat Moore. Harris to the right. First down play, and Zonka gives to the big fullback. Zonka comes roaring out to the 38-yard line on the give from Greasy. He got about 7 yards on the play. Alvin Bethea tackled him. He's a handful when he gets rumbling. He gets into that line and gets one step past the line. You're going to need help to bring him down.
Yes, and it looks like he's been playing forever. I remember him back in the old days of the American Football League. He was a great player then, and he still is.
It is 2nd down and 2, a gain of 8. Bob Kuchenberg is in there now. The center about whom we were talking, Mark Denard, comes out. Kuchenberg is the center, and Eric Laxo is playing the left tackle position for Miami. 2nd down and 2. And here's Davis following the block of Kuchenberg, and he gets the first down. Came across the 40 out to the 41-yard line. Washington tackled him. That Kuchenberg can play the tackle, the guard, the center.
He's a valuable player, and that time again, Larry Zonka was leading the play and throwing a block on the defensive right tackle of the Houston Oilers, and they succeeded in making. It looks like they succeeded in making the first down.
Look like from up here, we're high above the playing field here at the Orange Bowl. They're going to measure it. Denard comes back in at center. And a first down by the length of the football for Miami. So a couple of first downs after starting from their own 20-yard line. Now they're out to the 41. They have kept the ball for about 2.5 minutes here at the outset of the third quarter. We're tied 3-3. Miami scored first in the first quarter, and Houston tied it in the second period. Harris is to the right, Moore to the left. Tight end to Hardy on the left side. Moore in motion. And Greasy is back to throw. Looks and throws. And it is caught by Davis, but a very modest gain of only a yard. Robert Brazil made the tackle. It's amazing how much time you get when you get that running game going and then go back to throw, how much time you're allowed.
Exactly right, and that's what's so great about the running game, as you mentioned, because then it's easy to throw the play-action pass, and it looks so much like the run. You got a complementary package of the run and the pass, and that time he had plenty of time to throw the football, although they didn't succeed in getting much yardage on the play.
Coverage must have been good downfield.
Brazil was all over the offensive back, Gary Davis, and did a great job on coverage.
What a difference when that linebacker can keep up with a running back, as Brazil did then. 2nd down and 9 from their own 42 for the Dolphins, and Greasy back to throw. He's rushed. He is sacked inside the 30-yard line. Right over the middle came Ken Kennard. And he didn't miss a man. Greasy is sacked.
Boy, he really got a good jump. He had good anticipation on the play. They were blitzing, and he got into the gap.
Tony Nathan checks in for Miami. 3rd down and 21 from their own 30. Greasy has completed 10 passes, and Gary Davis, his running back, has caught 6 of them.
Denard was in there playing center that time, and he was the one who got licked on the play.
Here is the fake draw. Greasy back to throw. He's being chased. He throws on the run. It's caught by Nathan at the 35, tackled at the 38 on 3rd down. And Miami will have to kick, and now a flag comes down. A flag comes down. Greg Bingham made the tackle.
Bingham on the tackle, a flag has been thrown. Illegal receiver down.
We had an ineligible man downfield. That was the 3rd down play, and it's kicking time for Miami anyhow. So I do not believe that Houston will take the penalty.
No, I think they'll surely decline it, and they want to get possession of the football. They don't want to take a chance of giving Miami another chance to get a 1st and 10.
Greg Bingham saw that ineligible man downfield and pointed it out to the official, as an alert player will do.
Yes, he was the policeman on the play, and he started the squawk, and here it is.
64 downfield on the pass.
Ed Newman, the left guard, was downfield on the pass. That happens when the quarterback scrambles, as Greasy did that time, and they do accept the penalty. Houston does. The ball's marked back to the 20-yard line, and they have to get out to midfield for a first down.
I'm surprised that they did that because any kind of an infraction here on the part of the defense would give the offense an automatic first down, and they'd be out of the soup.
That's right, holding or face mask or anything of the sort. It is third down and 31, and Greasy stays on the ground. Tony Nathan running right, trying to return the corner, gets only a yard. He's tackled inbounds. Ooh, say the fans. They didn't like the conservative approach, and it's kicking time for Miami. Bingham made another tackle for Houston.
You mentioned it earlier, but I can't help but be impressed with the way both teams are tackling. Boy, they get a shot at a guy in the open field, and they nail him and put him down, and it's very, very impressive.
Well, Miami kept the ball for 5 minutes, but didn't get away with anything in the scoring department, and Roberts will kick. Richard Ellender stands at his 40-yard line for the Oilers. Roberts will get it away from his 10. Left-footed kicker hangs another one high into the wind. Ellender takes it on the 42, and he is tackled immediately back at the 41-yard line. Glenn Blackwood got downfield for the Dolphins. So the Oilers get the ball for the first time in the third quarter at their own 41. With the score, Oilers 3, Dolphins 3. Let's take time out.
A couple of racing notes. The Martini Company has withdrawn as a sponsor of the Lotus Formula One auto racing team after 1 year. The withdrawal was announced today by Lotus, which says new sponsorship arrangements will be announced shortly. No reason was given for the withdrawal. Lotus had a poor season on the Formula One circuit, and neither Mario Andretti nor Carlos Rotman was ever in a position to challenge for the driving championship. There has been speculation that either Andretti or Rotman will leave Lotus in the next few weeks. And stock car driver Darrell Waltrip has a slim 2-point lead over Richard Petty in the NASCAR Grand National point standings. The title will be decided November 18th at Ontario, California. Waltrip was 8 points behind Petty going into Sunday's 6,500 at the Atlanta International Raceway. But he finished 5th to regain the point lead from Petty, who was 6th. To win the title, Waltrip must finish 1 spot ahead of Petty at Ontario.
We just had a 36-yard punt by Roberts of Miami and a 1-yard return. We have 9:48 left in the third quarter. Hank Stram and Jack Buck with you for CBS Radio from the Orange Bowl. First and 10 Houston, their own 41.
This is the best field position they've had so far in the game on a first and 10 situation. Let's see what they do here. They run again.
Campbell follows Wilson, gets out to the 45, spins to midfield, gets the first down to the 48-yard line of Miami. Earl Campbell with a big burst. Larry Gordon made the tackle. And a first down for Houston.
Wonder, too, whether they'll use the I formation at all. Houston, I'm talking about in the second half. Let's watch for that, Kurt. I mean, there we are. We got it balanced.
Now we're even. It is a first down for the Oilers into Miami territory now at the 48-yard line. Pastorini gives the ball to Wilson, cuts it back up the middle. And Wilson drives down near the 43-yard line. Got about 5 yards, and Dan Herter stopped him. Good faking by Earl Campbell on the play.
Yes, it was.
They faked the ball to Campbell, and he carried out the fake, and then Tim Wilson ran down to the 43-yard line. Campbell has run 14 times, has 58 yards. You don't get 100 yards very often against Miami rushing.
And everything that you get, you really earn because they're tough.
Second down and 5 from the 43. Here's the running play, and Campbell is cracked down at the 40-yard line, ran over his left guard. Going to be third down and 2. Steve Pohl and Bob Baumauer were the defensive players for Miami, and on that one.
Doug Betters is back in at right end, and A.J. Dewey.
I'm sure that Houston misses their tight end, Mike Barber. He left the game early.
No question about that. He's a great competitor. Doesn't have fantastic speed, but he's a great catcher and makes a lot of big plays.
On third down, Houston has made a first down 3 times in 8 tries.
Here we see the I formation for the first time.
With Campbell in the I, Wilson the up man. The give to Campbell, running right, gets the first down to the 37-yard line of Miami before he is tackled by Chambers. Rusty Chambers, the linebacker, got him. Another first down for Houston. When you get that 3rd and 2, he's a heck of a man to have in your backfield, isn't he?
Oh, yes, he is. I'd say he's a good man to have on 1st and 10, 2nd and whatever, and 3rd, anytime.
The ball of the Miami 36. 7:20 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Burrow and Castor to the right. Here is Campbell, tackled after gaining only a yard and a half. Tackled at the 35-yard line by Doug Fetters. And again, the tackling is very good in this game. We're tied 3-3. 7 minutes left in the 3rd quarter, and it is going to be 2nd and 9 for Houston. Wide receivers haven't been in this game at all for either club.
No, they've been spectators in the game. I say that facetiously, of course, because the outside receivers, even though they're not catching many passes, they're still very important. They must be able to block to help the running game.
Rucker, the tight end, is on the left side. Castor is to the left. Burrow split right. Pastorini on 2nd down, facing the blitz. The blitz is underway, and he runs a draw, and the tackle is made at the line of scrimmage. The tackle made by Kim Bokamper on Tim Wilson, who tried to run the draw. And it's going to be 3rd down. And Houston into their hurry-up offense to prevent Miami from changing personnel. 3rd down and 8 from the Miami 34. 6:05 left in the quarter. Long count by Pastorini. Straight back to throw. Steps up in the pocket and dumps it off. And it is caught at the 32. And the tackle now is it intercepted by Miami? There was quite a scramble for the ball between Campbell and the defensive back. It was given to Campbell. They had it simultaneously. Gordon and Campbell had it at the same time. The offensive man, of course, gets preference. But it's 4th down for Houston.
It really looked like Gordon had possession. But evidently they were both struggling for the ball, and as you mentioned, anytime that happens, the offensive player gets the benefit of the doubt, and they give it to the offensive team.
Fritz has kicked one from 46 yards, missed one from 49, and this is going to be 49 yards again. Kicking with a win, Tony Fritz. Soccer-style kicker, Nielsen holding the ball. Nice snap. Nielsen gets it down. The kick has a chance, and it's good. Houston jumps on top for the first time tonight by 3. A timeout on the field with a score. Houston 6 and Miami 3.
Let's talk about skating right now. American Althea Risberg can win the Richmond Figure Skating Trophy with a good showing in tonight's final free skating session at London. Japan's 18-year-old Ryoko Kabashi was a slim lead going into the final session, but Risberg is considered a stronger free skater. The Japanese gained most of her points in Saturday's school figures, while Risberg finished 3rd. But despite a foot injury suffered in practice, Risberg won Sunday's short program to move within striking distance. And four-time Wimbledon champion Bjorn Borg and Australia's John Alexander brought world-class tennis to the Chinese mainland for the first time today. They drew appreciative oohs and ahs from 6,000 Chinese spectators at Canton as Borg downed Alexander in straight sets 6-3, 6-4, 6-1 in a televised exhibition.
Tony Fritz has been a very good kicker for Houston. He's 14 out of 16 for the year, 2 out of 3 tonight. Houston leads 6-3, 5:05 left in the 3rd quarter. Fritz will kick it off. Tony Nathan stands at the goal line. Well, Miami's going to have to move the ball a bit now. They kept the ball for about 5 minutes and didn't score. Houston kept it for about 5, and then they did score. Tony Fritz. Bum Phillips says he's grateful for the immigration laws in this country every time Fritz gets some points for him.
You know, I can't understand. Where is Nunn University?
Noni, that's Noni University. Here is the kick to Nathan. He takes it 4 yards deep, and he's going to bring it out. He's to the 5, to the 10, to the 15, and did not get to the 20. He's tackled at the 17-yard line. Good kick coverage by the Houston club. With Booby Clark, the longtime Cincinnati player, downfield to make the tackle. Well, Miami had to punt the last time they had the ball. A couple of penalties hurt them. They're at their own 17. Houston leading for the first time, 6-3. Harrison Moore, the wide receivers, and Greasy back to throw. Sacked inside the 10-yard line. Back at the 8. First man through, Ted Washington. And they get Greasy for the second time tonight.
A little blitz on first down. Ted Washington really got a good angle, got a good jump on the snap, and got through there in good shape and dumped Greasy for the loss.
A loss of 8. Second down and 18.
There's 34 sacks.
Well, they come after you, Houston does. They have a lot of interceptions, a lot of sacks.
I'm surprised that Greasy tried to throw from the pocket that time. He's been running so much on 1st and 10. Play-action pass would have been a good call.
Now here's Davis on the running play, tackled after gaining only a yard, and the fans are disenchanted here. Alvin Mateo is the tackler. It's going to be third down and long. Greasy has been under the gun by the media down here in Miami. They have banners in the paper that Greasy must be benched and so on and so forth. Then he came back last week and played a very good game, and Miami won their game. Beat Green Bay 27-7 a week ago. Third down and 17, and Greasy stays on the ground, gives it to Gary Davis, running left, cuts it back. Gets out to the 16, and that's all, and Miami's going to have to punt again. Last time Miami punted, Houston converted it into 3 points. Bingham was the tackler that time. They kept the ball for only a minute and a half. Miami did, and Roberts will be punting again. This will be his 5th kick of the night. Richard Ellender is back at his 45. Houston has the lead. They'll get the ball. Here's the kick by Roberts, and it's a bad one. Off to the left and out of bounds near midfield. And it went out of bounds at the Houston 47, so the Oilers are in good shape. A timeout on the field with the score. Oilers 6, Dolphins 3.
Funeral services will be held Tuesday at Latrobe, Pennsylvania for Doris Lavina Palmer, mother of pro golfing great Arnold Palmer. Mrs. Palmer died Sunday night in Latrobe Hospital. She was 70. Mrs. Palmer's health had been failing, and she entered a nursing home last week. She was transferred to the hospital over the weekend. The National Hockey League St. Louis Blues say their leading scorer, Wayne Babbage, will be sidelined for 3 to 4 weeks with a separated shoulder. Babbage was injured in the team's 4-1 victory over Los Angeles Saturday evening. Team officials say surgery will not be necessary. Babbage scored 6 goals in the first 11 games this season. He missed 5 weeks of his rookie season last year. And the pairing for the World Boxing Council's first cruiserweight title bout was announced today in New York. It'll pit former WBC light heavyweight champ Matt Parlov of Yugoslavia against Marvin Carmel of Missoula, Montana. The bout will be held December 8th in Split, Yugoslavia. The range of that cruiserweight, 175 to 190.
Thanks, Stram. Not only has Houston gone on top on the scoreboard 6-3, but the momentum certainly has swung over in their favor.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has. And they're playing a very bright, intelligent game. They're trying to consume as much time as they possibly can, taking their spots to throw the ball, but they're relying so much on Campbell, and they justifiably should, because he's the key to the game.
A 36-yard punt finds Houston at their 47 with a first down. Burrow and Castor are to the left. And on first down, Campbell up the middle. Moves to midfield and maybe a yard beyond that to the Miami 49, but that's all he got. He got 4 on the play. Gordon and Toll, linebackers for the Dolphins, tackled him. 2:40 left in the third quarter. Clock running.
I'm really amazed. Only 2, as you mentioned, 2:37, 2:36 left in this third quarter. And Houston has only run from the I formation 1 time, and that was on short yardage, and they made a big gain.
Mock over the ball, the Houston center. Castor lines up as one of the 2 tight ends, and here's a give to Campbell on a quick pop to the 40-yard line of Miami for a first down. They must have trapped somebody, eh?
No, they just ran straight ahead blocking, and at the very last second, the split end came into a tight end position, Castor, and entertained the linebacker, Gordon, number 50. They had a hat on all 3 people, both linebackers and the defensive end, Betters, and popped through there in good shape.
Campbell, 19 carries, 78 yards. Took it down to the Miami 40. A first down with 1:49 remaining in the third quarter. first down. Pastorini stays on the ground, gives it to Campbell, bounces off a tackle, moves inside the 35 and out of bounds at the 32. They had him stopped back near the 40 at the line of scrimmage, but Foley finally stopped him at the 32, and it looks like he gained about 8 yards on the play. Let's pause 5 seconds for stations to identify themselves on the CBS Radio Network.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
When Earl Campbell was whacked out of bounds, he came into contact with the sideline marker and some of the personnel along the sideline. A little slow getting back up, but he's all right.
And we talked about it earlier in the game, and they continue to do the same thing. They're running basically to the left most of the time, taking advantage. They evidently feel that the soft spot is running to Doug Betters rather than running to the other side to Vern Den-Herder.
At the 32 of Miami, Houston has never been inside the 30-yard line. They are now as Wilson bangs it down to the 25-yard line for another first down. Kim Bocamper tackled him. Tim Wilson on a quick hitter up the middle. And with 1:20 remaining in the third quarter, Houston is on the move, and they want that TD now, Hank.
Yes, they do, and they're doing a good job of using up a lot of time. And in conjunction with that, of course, they're moving the chain.
1:05 left in the third quarter. The ball at the Miami 25. The deepest penetration by the Oilers. On first down, Pastorini's going to throw. He throws down, overthrows his receiver along the sideline at about the 5. He intended it for Rick Gaster. But the pass might have been thrown out of bounds intentionally by Pastorini.
Well, that was exactly the same throw he made earlier in the game. They were double covering the outside receiver, Castor, and he tried to split the area between the short back and Tim Foley, who was going deep outside. Couldn't get it in there, threw it out of bounds.
Didn't really look like he had to throw the way they've been moving, did it?
No, that's right.
53 seconds left in the third quarter. 6-3 Houston, 2nd and 10 from the 25 of Miami.
It looks like he might run left here.
With Campbell as the tailback, he goes straight ahead, cuts it left now, stretches out for about 3 yards on the play.
Miami that time was in an even spacing, which means they had people over the offensive guards and the middle linebacker off the ball. They tried to trap it with the right guard trapping to the left, but didn't top it as clean as they thought they might.
Campbell went to the 22, and it is 3rd down and 7. Pastorini is 6 out of 9 for 25 yards. That's all he's passed for in this game. The Miami fans howling for their club to dig in on this 3rd down play from the 22. 3rd and 7. They show the blitz. Straight rush. Pastorini, plenty of time. Throws incomplete behind Ken Burrow. He was covered by Foley.
He did a smart thing that time. Had he waited much longer, he would wind up kicking a field goal into the wind instead of kicking it with the wind. He's got the wind now, and so there was 6 seconds. He's got a chance to kick a field goal. Very bright move on the part of Pastorini.
The line of scrimmage is the 22. Fritz has kicked 2 out of 3. This one will be 39 yards. That's the attempt. With 6 seconds left in the quarter. Trying to make it 9-3. Good snap, good set. The kick's got a chance. It's good. Fritz really pulls that ball. And he makes the score 9-3 with 2 seconds remaining in the third quarter. And with the score, Houston 9, Miami 3. Let's take time out.
Well, a game of who can kick the most field goals the longest distance. We'll have a touchdown one of these times. Say the 3 members of the National Hockey League's highest scoring line are also the top 3 scorers in the league as of this weekend. Again, no game scheduled. Yeah, correction. There is one game scheduled in the National Hockey League this Monday. That's Washington at Montreal. But getting back to the standings, Marcel Dion, Charlie Simmer, and Dave Taylor of the Los Angeles Kings lead the list of top scorers released Monday by the National Hockey League. Dion has 33 points with 14 goals and 19 assists. Simmer had 14 goals and 11 assists for 25 points. Taylor has 9 goals and 15 assists for 24. Gilles Fleur of Montreal has 22 points for 4th place. And LA's Bob Goring is the number 5 scorer with 20 points. By the way, the final score of that Washington-Montreal game at the Forum in Montreal, The Canadiens win by a score of 2-0.
Well, we have 2 seconds left in the third quarter. Miami should be happy that they caused them to kick the field goal rather than get the TD. It's only a 6-point deficit for the Dolphins.
Yes, and of course the nice thing about it is they're going to have the win in the fourth quarter, which is going to be very important and really could decide this game.
This will be the last time that Frick will have the win. He'll kick it off. Total offense, Houston 156 yards, Miami 207. But Houston has the lead. The kick is to the 3. Nathan has it up the middle to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, and knocked down at the 22-yard line. More good tackling. Dolphins go from their own 22, the end of the third quarter with a score. Houston 9, Miami 3.
The National Labor Relations Board has charged the North American Soccer League with violating the U.S. labor law. The accusation stemmed from the 5-day strike by the NASL Players Association last April. Among other things, the NLRB says the league refused to deal with the player group and attempted to undermine the union leadership. The charges were made public Monday by NASL Players Association Chief Ed Garvey. He says the complaint will go on to trial before an NLRB judge in New York next March. Another note, the European Athletic Association decided to increase its measures against drugs by recommending that each European country be required to start its own national dope testing. At a meeting this weekend in East Berlin, the EAA voted on a resolution calling for every national track federation to institute its own dope controls, in addition to the tests already used at big international championships. The resolution will be put for ratification of the International Amateur Athletic Federation at its 1980 Congress in Moscow just before the Olympics. And Olympics right around the corner. Lake Placid, New York will hold, of course, the Winter Olympics, upstate New York, and Moscow, the 1980, the big games, the Olympic Games, or the Summer Games. Our ball game, very close, as expected, low scoring, good defense. We go to the final stanza.
Each quarterback here tonight has been sacked 2 times. Greasy has completed 10 out of 16 for 89 yards. We have 15 minutes left in this game. Hank Stram and Jack Buck with you from the Orange Bowl in Miami. The Dolphins ball, 1st and 10 from their own 21. And in this quarter, they will have the wind at their back. Greasy on 1st down with Davis and Zonka. A long count to give to Davis, running wide left, trying to turn the corner. Little gives him a block. He got 4, maybe 5 yards. He got 4 yards, well, more than that. He crossed the 25, and he's out to the 29. He got 7. Greg Bingham tackled him. Good block by Little, and Davis used it properly.
Yes, and the tight end did a good job. Bruce Hardy, number 84, did a fine job of blocking on the play. You have to do a good job on the linebacker. In that case, it was Ted Washington. He kept him on the line of scrimmage, strung him out along to the outside, and for that reason they were able to run to the outside and make a good gain on the play.
Miami playing without Del Williams this evening. 2nd down and 2. Greasy back to throw on a surprise call. Looks and airs it out, and the man's all along to midfield. The pass is caught at the 45. Tackle made at the 40-yard line on Nat Moore. And that's the second pass that he has caught tonight.
That time they were double covering the outside receivers, but the strong safety was a little slow getting to the outside, and Nat Moore just went in and out, was wide open behind the linebacker and the defensive back.
31-yard pickup to the Houston 40-yard line. A surprise call, 2nd and 2. Greasy will do that.
Yes, and this would be a good time to come right back and throw another one on 1st and 10. They've got to do a good job of picking up a good chunk on 1st and 10 and keeping that defense off balance.
1st down at the Houston 40-yard line for Miami, and Greasy hands off to Davis, running left. He is hit and dropped at the 40-yard line and gained only a yard on the play. Greg Simrick came up along with Darrell Hunt and put it into the play. Now they're bringing Ken Kennard to help with the pass rush for Houston and put in Willie Alexander in the backfield.
One of the toughest things to do against Houston is to run sideways, east and west. There was a great illustration of how difficult it really is, and they didn't make any yardage on the play, so to speak, except for just one.
Jesse Baker, the rookie, is in there for Houston. 2nd down and 9 from the Houston 39. Tony Nathan in the backfield for Miami. Houston shows the blitz. They are blitzing. Greasy back to throw. They pick it up well. The pass is incomplete. Pass incomplete to Tony Nathan, the rookie out of Alabama, covering with Robert Brazil. So it'll be 3rd and 9. Miami seems to do this all the time, Hank. They've been doing it all year. They move the ball, and then suddenly the plug comes out.
Yes, they don't have a real good continuity in the scoring area. This is one of the big problems they've had all year long, and they had a little problem here tonight. They had a chance. They were going in and fumbled, but this is what they've done throughout the season.
Jimmy Cepalo, a wide receiver, checks in and goes to the right, along with Nat Moore. On 3rd down, Miami has made a first down 3 times out of 9 attempts. Again, Houston shows the blitz on 3rd and 9, and they might have gone offside. The whistle stops play. It was 3rd and 9.
Ken Kennard that time jumped, I think, number 71. And another reason he jumped is because Bob Greasy is so adept at changing the rhythm and changing the count.
Offside Houston, that'll cost them 5, make it 3rd and 4. From the 34. 12:38 left in the game. Oilers on top here, 9-3. Miami trying to keep this drive going.
Encroachment, number 71, defense.
It was on Kennard, encroachment, the call. He made contact coming across the line of scrimmage before the snap. Greasy needs 4, and this is a much easier call to make than 3rd and 9.
Yes. And he might have an opportunity to hit one of his backs here.
Or run a draw. 3rd down play. Greasy with a long count. He is back to throw. He throws it over the middle, and it is dropped by Davis. You called it, Hank. He broke clear in the middle, and as he was trying to put it away, he dropped it.
Yes, that's an option on the linebacker. Davis had the option of running inside or outside.
A flag has been thrown.
That time he chose to run inside. Here's the flag. Here's the call.
Motion against Miami. Could be a 4th down play from the 34-yard line, 3rd and 4. The 34, 44, a 51-yard attempt. It's declined. And Miami might try a field goal here. Yeah, they will. Uwe von Schaman is in. His longest field goal of the year is 47 yards. So this will be his most successful attempt if he makes it. It's going to be 51 yards with Strzok holding the ball. No safety man back for Houston. In college, he's able to kick them that far. He's kicking with the wind, and he gets into it pretty good. And it is good. They just got over the crossbar, and we have a 3-point game again. I was surprised they didn't take that penalty,
Yes.
for that reason.
Yep, exactly right.
12:26 left in the game. With a score, the Oilers 9, Miami 6. Let's take time out.
From the sporting news today, selected Pittsburgh's Willie Stargell as Player of the Year, named Baltimore's Hank Peters the 1979 Major League Executive of the Year. According to the editors, Stargell was selected because of his play in the regular season, the National League playoffs, and the World Series, in addition to his role as the spiritual leader of the Pirates. Peters is credited with building the foundation that carried the Orioles to the American League Championship this year. An out-of-town spectator didn't get to see the Portland Trail Blazers stage a great comeback to defeat the Spurs in overtime Monday night. Stargell was at the game, sitting on the aisle, and a big crowd started to congregate. Stargell had to leave the game early when he was surrounded by autograph seekers.
We have 12:26 remaining in the game. The wind has certainly played a factor, Hank. I know we've been talking about it all night, but Miami has the advantage here in the final quarter.
All the points have been scored with the wind, and of course it really enhanced the kicking ability of the place kickers because they've been able to boom some long ones here in this Orange Bowl stadium here tonight.
Von Schaman had one earlier this year, 53 yards. His latest one was 51 yards moments ago to make it a 3-point game. Carter Hartwig and Richard Ellender are back for Houston to receive the kickoff. 12:26 remaining. We might be headed for a tie game in overtime. Here is the kick going down into and out of the end zone by Von Schaumann. It'll come out to the 20-yard line.
Boy, he kicked a frozen rope that time. Got down there very quickly and into the end zone. That's what you like to see. And, of course, now Houston has possession, 1st and 10 on the 20.
And now the crowd here in the Orange Bowl, about 75,000 strong, are rooting for the defense to get the ball back quickly for the Dolphins. Pastorini as Conrad Ruckert is tight end. Tim Wilson and Earl Campbell are the running backs.
They got A.J. Dewey back in the game at right end instead of Betters. I think they think Betters is better against the rush and Dewey better against the run.
Two tight ends for Houston. And the give to Tim Wilson, and no gain on the play. He was hit at the line of scrimmage, trying to go over the right guard position. Then hurt it, back down, stopped the play. He was driven back. It's 2nd and 10.
Boy, he had no chance that time. It looked like they were playing against a team that had 15 people on defense, the way they swarmed all over that ball carrier.
I guess they were just so certain that Pastorini wouldn't be throwing that they plugged up everything.
Yes, they did.
2nd down and 10 for Houston. Each team 6 and 3. Campbell and Wilson talk it over in the backfield, split back. Now the crowd making a lot of noise, and the official takes the timeout. Official takes time out, and the Houston club will huddle up again. 11:42 remaining. Next Monday night, Hank Stram and I will be at Texas Stadium. Cowboys entertaining the Philadelphia Eagles. Houston will be at home against Oakland. Miami will be at home against Baltimore.
Houston has to come up with some kind of a big play to get out of this molasses situation.
They like the end around, by the way.
This would be a good time for it, I tell you, because the way they're chasing.
Renfro's to the right, Burrow to the left, two tight ends. Pastorini just standing there as the crowd makes all the racket, and he spreads his hands in desperation, saying, I can't hear. The official calls timeout. By the way, there is nothing in the book about a penalty against the home crowd or against the home team or anything of the sort. You heard them down there in the old Sugar Bowl in New Orleans, Hank. They set up a racket. You can't hear a thing, and this could go on all night if the crowd has enough energy.
Yes, and the real problem is that he uses the formation for the express purpose of changing the play on the line of scrimmage, and it's very difficult for the outside receivers in this case because they're employing a double tight end, double wing formation. The outside people can't hear the call.
2nd and 10 from their own 20 for Houston. They have Campbell in the backfield. Again, Pastorini just standing there waiting for the crowd to settle down. He's a 9-year veteran. He's not about to louse up a play just because the crowd is making so much noise. So for the 3rd time, they back off the ball. Fans love it. They're part of this game.
Yes, they're very involved in the game, and of course I think Pastorini is very smart to do exactly what he's doing because he can't take a chance of wasting a play down on this end of the field with a score 9-6 in their favor.
We saw a game earlier this year. I'm trying to remember where we were. Oh, in Oakland. And it cost Miami. They ran a play without being able to hear the snap count. And the play resulted in a penalty because of backfield motion. Now Pastorini brings him out again. Just waiting to see if the crowd quiets down. Apparently they have enough. He calls the play. 2nd down and 10 from his own 20. And gives the ball to Campbell. Campbell up the middle. He gets only a yard and he's driven back. Campbell up the middle. Ran into Baumauer. Going to be 3rd down and 9 for Houston. You know, this happens in Houston, too, because they set up a racket in that Astrodome.
Well, they almost blew the roof off last year. Remember the game on Monday night? There was such a thriller in Houston.
That one was won by the score of 35-30 by Houston over Miami a year ago. Then Houston beat Miami in the playoffs. 3rd and 9 for Pastorini. Burrow to the left and Renfro to the right. He's back to throw. Has time, and now he is back inside the 20-yard line. Wanted to dump it off short. But the linebacker, Ernest Rowan, was standing right there with Campbell, and then Den Herder got him and sacked him for the third time tonight.
Yeah, Den Herder has really put a lot of pressure on the quarterback tonight. Has really done a great job. And he, of course, has terrific size as a defensive end, and he's a very versatile guy. And has really done a great job for the Miami Dolphins for a long period of time. He's 6'6" and 252, and he's very quick and strong and really gets off the mark in good shape.
Parsley will kick from inside the 10, and Tony Nathan is back at his own 40. There's the kick. Nathan comes. Now flag goes down, as we might have had interference with a fair catch. Let's wait and see what the signal is. Kozlowski was back there to receive it. And I think somebody picked him off before he could catch it.
Yeah, the other thing was that I mentioned earlier, Parsley gets the ball against his body so much of the time he almost had that kick blocked.
It was only an 18-yard punt. Turner Hartwig, the rookie from USC, was downfield, and I think he pushed Kozlowski before he could field the punt. You can't do that. So the officials talk it over.
You can do it,
yeah.
but you can't get caught.
You think this home crowd doesn't have a lot to do with the tempo of this game? The referee, Fred Wyant, still trying to sort things out. Tom Hensley, the umpire. Leo Miles, the head linesman. Gene Carradine, the line judge. Jimmy Rosser is the back judge. Jim Osborne, the side judge, and Fred Swearingen is the field judge. Yardage marked off against Houston, a major penalty down to the 31 of Houston. And we'll listen to the referee. Fair catch interference, number 36. First down. It was the rookie, Turner Hartwig. Fair catch interference to the Houston 31.
This is the best field position that Miami has had. They had it on a plus 41 in the first quarter and got a field goal out of it, but this is the best field position they've had in the game on a 1st and 10 situation, starting a drive.
Harris to the right, Moore to the left, I formation, Zonka and Davis. Here's the toss to Davis, running right, and Zonka couldn't finish off his block. A flag is thrown. The tackle is made at the 30-yard line by J.C. Wilson, who came knifing through there with a very good defensive play. Now we'll check the flag.
I think it's against Miami, holding.
Holding, wow. Miami holding. And that'll cost them 10 and make it 1st and 20. .09 remaining in the game. Houston leading by the score of 9-6. The ball's moved back to the 41. 67, offense. The call was against Bob Kuchenberg, the left tackle. Penalties, Houston 5, Miami 4, each team 35 yards.
It's hard to understand why Miami has been so conservative, or was in that particular situation, when they had such good field position.
Harris to the left and Moore to the right.
If he throws, let's see if he tries to hit it back again.
Receives back to throw. Steps up and airs it out, down long into the end zone, and it is intercepted by Houston in the end zone. Coming away with the ball was Vernon Perry, his first of the year, and that is the 21st of the year for Houston.
Boy, that's really something. 35 sacks now and 21 interceptions. Remarkable.
The ball comes out to the Houston 20, 9:59 left. The timeout on the field with the score. Houston 9 and Miami 6.
For the past 15 years, one of the more common phrases in sports has been winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. Well, that's not totally true. The thrill of taking part should be almost as rewarding, which brings us to the story of Northwestern University. The Wildcat football team has developed a national reputation for football. En route to the Big Ten basement, there have been amusing features on network news shows and witty pieces in magazines and newspapers. About the only folks who don't appreciate the notoriety are those few who attend Northwestern home games. Or the notoriety, or the bad notoriety in the newspapers. This was shown Saturday when the Wildcats hosted Michigan State. There was a dismal turnout of about 20,000 people. Many of them were kids with nothing better to do and chase loose footballs in back of the end zone. And more of those pigskins were Michigan State extra points. The Spartans won that game 42-7. The fans in attendance were uninspired and not really sure why they were there. Northwestern, like the old University of Chicago team many years ago, not winning many games.
Vernon Terry, a rookie out of Jackson State, playing the strong safety. You don't find many rookies playing that spot, Hank.
No, you surely don't. And when they do it, they don't play it nearly as well as you like for them to. But in this particular case, Terry really did a great job.
He just got his first interception in professional football. And it comes out to the 20-yard line on the touchback. The ball was intercepted in the end zone. Earl Campbell over the left side. Goes out for 3 yards. About 3.5. A.J. Dewey tackled him. 9:50 remaining and the clock running. Houston hanging on to a 3-point lead. This has been a bruising battle and a pretty good game for a very interesting game for a low-scoring game.
It's well played, and it's extremely well played defensively. You have to give both teams an awful lot of credit. And Houston continues to run to their left, and justifiably so. They are reluctant to run at the two big defensive people, Bocamper on the left side, along with Dernherter, who has done such a great job.
Campbell has 94 yards, 23 carries, and comes across the 25-yard line now, out near the 27. Bocamper stopped him. It'll be third down. So he's right at 97 yards, Earl Campbell is. Third down coming up, 3rd and 3 for Houston. Jim Burrow, the wide receiver, goes out.
The last time they were in that 3rd and 3, they elected to run the ball, gave it to Campbell, and succeeded in making the first down. Here they're in the I formation again, only the second time in the second half.
Wilson, the up back. Campbell, the tailback. Crowd roaring on 3rd and 3. They give to Campbell over the right side and did not make it, and a flag goes down. He was tackled by Rusty Chambers, the linebacker, who's made a lot of tackles here tonight. And a flag was thrown. It's a penalty against Houston. However, that was 3rd down, and I suspect that Miami will decline the penalty and have them punt with 8.5 left.
They ran from the I formation to the exact spot they did the other time. The first time they ran, they made it easy. This time they didn't succeed in getting a jump.
Holding was called against the Houston on offense against Rich Castor, and Parsley will punt to Tony Nathan. Parsley will kick it from about his 15.
Watch and see if Parsley catches the ball against his body or out in front where he should. But he is a terrific young kicker.
Here's the snap. He handles it well and kicks it not too well. Nathan comes up and it bounces near the 40-yard line. He takes it at the 37 and he's tackled immediately. So Miami will go from their own 37 as they trail by 3. 8:20 left. With the score, Houston 9, the Dolphins 6. Let's take time out. This game has gone a little more rapidly than most of the others with regard to elapsed time, overall elapsed time. There's been some good drives, but not much scoring, all field goals, and Miami is at their own 37 first down as we continue with 8:20 remaining.
This will be a very important drive for Miami because they have reasonably good field position, and they have to get some more points on the scoreboard to get back in this game.
We're tied 3-3 at the half. And Houston grabbed the lead for the first time. Made it 9-3, 9-6 is what it is now. Miami on first down with Greasy at the controls is back to throw. He's under a rush, and he gets rid of it, and it is caught out at the 40-yard line. The tackle is broken by Davis. He's to midfield, and a first down at the Houston 48-yard line. Greg Bigham finally finished him off, and good running by Davis after catching the ball. He broke a tackle and got a 15-yard gain.
Yeah, Darrell Hunt, number 50, really got a good shot at him. It bounced off like somebody threw a piece of popcorn at him.
To the Houston 49. With 7:45 remaining in the game.
I was wrong on that. I think it was Timrick, number 27, who made the contact instead of Hunt.
Out of the I formation. On first down, with a wing back to the right, Greasy gives the ball to the second man, Davis, wrestled down, a loose ball, and Houston comes away with it. Davis is fumbled for the second time, and Robert Brazil recovers. Houston recovers right at midfield.
Boy, what a big play. They got out of trouble on two occasions, had good field position the last time, and came out of it with an interception, this time with a fumble. Boy, that's the way you have to win and do a good job with your defense.
Third turnover by Miami, 2 fumbles and an interception. They were thwarted the last time by an interception in the end zone, and this time by a fumble by Gary Davis at midfield. So Pastorini and company are in good shape. Wilson and Campbell in the backfield, and Campbell over the left side goes for about 4 yards straight ahead. And we're down to 7:15 left in the game, clock running, and Steve Toll was the tackler along with Rusty Chambers.
It's been a long time since I've seen a professional football game where they've run as many handoffs as Houston has run here tonight, and it's a very effective play. And it doesn't look very impressive, but every time you look up after he runs the ball, it's a 5-yard gain.
Campbell's over 100 yards, 102 yards on 26 carries, and you just don't do that very often against Miami. Second down and 6 from the 46. Castor goes in motion. Here's Campbell running left, tackled in the backfield, and dropped for a loss on the play. He lost a couple that time, and it's going to be third down and 8.
See how he instinctively runs. That time he was running from the fullback position, the only one in the backfield, but how instinctively he likes to run to open areas. But from that position, he doesn't have nearly the depth that he has from the I formation. From the I formation, he's back there 7.5, 8 yards. From that formation, he's back there 4.5 yards, and he doesn't have the room to maneuver.
Houston puts in the extra wide receiver, Ray Renfro. He comes to the right. Ken Burrow is to the left on 3rd and 8 from the Miami 48. Coleman is in the backfield on a wing. And here's a delay to Campbell. He drives inside the 45 to the 44. It's going to be 4th down and about 3. Ken Burrow complaining to the official over there about the defensive play of Gerald Small. Ernest Roan made the tackle. 4th down, and Houston's going to punt. Well, Miami's defense bails them out again.
Boy, both teams have really done a fantastic job here tonight defensively. It's been a long time since I've seen a better defensive game played by two teams. Not just one usually plays a great game, but both of them are doing a terrific job here tonight.
5:20 left in the game. Tony Nathan waits for the kick from Cliff Parsley. Parsley will kick it from his own 45. Now a whistle stops play, and that'll be delay of game. Make it 4th down and 8 and move the ball back to the Miami 49.
Offense, 4th down.
So Houston used up some valuable time. .5:13 remaining. The clock will start as soon as Parsley kicks it. Nathan is a handful. He's the safety man. There's the kick. Parsley gets it high, and a fair catch is called for and taken on the 16-yard line by Tony Nathan. So Miami is back to their own 16 with 5:05 left. They have a long way to go. Denard is on the bench. The center, we told you, is taking the place of Jim Langer, and Bob Kuchenberg will play the center spot. And Eric Laxo will be playing the left tackle position for Miami. Their tight end is on the right side. That's Bruce Hardy. Harris to the left, Moore to the right.
He threw from this position the last time. He's throwing
back
again.
to throw now. And Greasy screens it out to Davis. Davis gets one block, gets outside across the 20, comes down near the 23-yard line for a substantial pickup before he's tackled by Ken Kennard. 4:50 left in the game. The defense keeps giving the ball back to the Miami offense, but that's not going to happen all night long. This game's going to end shortly.
Only 4 minutes left in the game. 4:37.
That screen pass was worth 7 yards for Miami. Out to their 23. Split backs, Davis and Zonka. And the give to Zonka over a hole over the left side, and he gets a first down. Zonka carried for a first down to the 28. Bingham tackled him. 4 minutes left.
Want to come right back here, Jack, with either one of two things: a draw on 1st and 10 or another pass on 1st and 10.
Ball at the Miami 29-yard line. Harris to the left, Moore to the right. Greasy back to throw on first down. As time throws, and it is caught and dropped incomplete. Davis had it, and then he was whacked, and the ball came loose. And making him cough it up was number 27, Greg Semrick, along with Greg Bingham. Houston is playing with Art Stringer, a very fine linebacker. They've lost him, as well as losing numerous people on offense. This 16-game schedule takes its toll, doesn't it?
Yes, and that's why it's so important to substitute as much as you possibly can, and in order to do that, you have to have a good, strong bench.
Second down and 10 for Miami from their own 29-yard line. And on second down, here's Greasy back to throw. Rush, that's inside the 20-yard line, and a flag goes down. Last week, Duriel Harris caught 10 passes for a Miami record, and tonight he hasn't caught the ball all night. Curly Culp was in to make that fact. And now we'll deal with the flag. It's against Houston.
Boy, that was a big break for Miami.
They would have been back inside their 20-yard line. 8 passes from Greasy have gone to his running back.
Number 7, Dolphins.
There's a call against Curly Culp, who made that sack. Jesse Baker, the rookie and their top draft choice, is playing up front for Houston, along with Kennard. They've got a pretty good pass rush, Hank.
Yes, they do. And of course, they've changed a little bit this year. They've gone to a 4-man rush on passing situations, obvious passing situations, and it's helped them tremendously. They're in that situation right now.
Second down and 5. The blitz is on. Greasy's back to throw. And he throws long, and a flag goes down. The pass is incomplete. And we'll check the flag. There was contact made up around the 40-yard line, and a call against Greg Semrick of Houston. He was trying to stay with Duriel Harris and evidently made contact. And it'll be a Miami first down. Interference against Houston.
Some people have said that Bob has difficulty throwing long. I don't know how you could throw a better long pass than the one he just threw. It was a well-thrown, good spiral.
Interference, number 27, defense, first down.
Semrick was called on interference with 3:25 remaining in the game on the heels of an offside call. So Miami is on the move with the help of the penalties down to the 40-yard line of Houston. The score is Houston 9, Miami 6.
50 throws here again on first down. He does.
Greasy back to throw. And throws, and it is incomplete and almost picked off. Intended for Harris on a crossing pattern. And Mike Reinfeld almost walked right into that ball. Incomplete. What do you think of that interference call, eh?
Honestly, I thought it was a very bad call. I didn't think it was pass interference.
I didn't see much of the play. I was watching Greasy back upfield. He just unloaded the ball on time. Clock is stopped with 3:19 remaining. Second and 10, Miami on the Houston 40. Well, one more first down, then they'll be within field goal range for Von Schaumann. Second down.
He hasn't done anything at all to speak of to the tight end.
Greasy back to throw. He throws to the sideline, and it is incomplete. Intended for Bruce Hardy, the tight end. Boy, Houston has had good coverage all evening long.
Well, it's amazing how well they've done. Just amazing.
First of all, their linebackers are able to keep up with those backs coming out. What a difference that makes. It relieves the pressure off of the deep men.
Yes, it does. And the amazing thing is they get such good depth, and then on the runs, they're all over the backs, very close to the line of scrimmage. Just doing a great job defensively.
Now it's 3rd and 10. With 3:10 remaining in the game. The ball on the 40-yard line of Houston. Houston leading 9-6. Greasy brings him out. Sets his club. Back to throw. 4-man rush for Houston. Greasy over the middle, and it's caught at the 30-yard line. And the tackle made inside the 25-yard line by Brazil on Harris.
They've licked Brazil.
Or by Tony Nathan.
They've licked Brazil several times here tonight, and here all he does on the play, Tony Nathan, he goes out and reads the linebacker. In this particular case, Brazil, and reads him. He either goes outside or inside. He's continually gone inside, was wide open again inside. Brazil just couldn't cover him, and it's a big play for Miami.
And a first down. That was a 3rd down toss by Greasy, taking the ball to the 23-yard line of Houston. They put Zonka back in there. 2:25 left in the game. Clock running. On first down, the give is to Zonka, and he blows down to the 20-yard line. They are within field goal range now, Hank, and that probably will be the last play prior to this 2-minute warning.
We'll have to see an overtime game here, Jack.
Got the makings of it. 2nd down and 7 facing Miami, and now the 2-minute warning. 2nd and 7 from the Houston 20 when we resume. A pause in the action with the score, Houston 9, the Dolphins 6. Let's take time out.
Well, it took some searching, but Redskins coach Jack Pardee found the bright side of Sunday's 38-7 loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pardee says we only have one game left against an AFC team. Most of the NFC teams play each other the rest of the way, so we'll all have a chance to determine for ourselves who makes the playoffs. Our divisional games are the most important because if we win there, it won't make any difference what else happens. We'll be in the playoffs. We still have 2 games left with Dallas, and we play the New York Giants again. Pardee's first order of business is to put Sunday's thrashing out of mind, except to find a replacement for kick returner Buddy Hardiman, who had his jaw broken in 2 places by a jarring J.T. Thomas tackle. Surgery Monday repaired the jaw, but Hardiman probably is finished for the season. Where 10 victories looked like a playoff possibility and 9 seemed to hold a long shot chance a few weeks back, both appear more attractive to the Redskins. Now 6-4 and 2 games behind NFC Eastern Dallas.
2 minutes left here in the Orange Bowl. Hank Stram and Jack Buck with you. Miami trying to win to stay tied with New England at 7-3. And Houston trying to win to catch Cleveland 7-3 and remain a game behind the Steelers, who are 8-2.
You know, one thing Miami hasn't done here tonight at all is the way the Houston team reacts to what they see and the way they pursue. They haven't run a reverse here tonight, and I would think that a reverse would be an excellent play. Something quick and something starting one way and going back the other. It could be a big play and could go all the way.
2nd and 7 for Miami from the Houston 20. Greasy on 2nd down. Straight back to throw. Throws to the sideline. Intercepted by Houston at the 30-yard line. 35-40 by the linebacker Washington Singham. And he is down inside the 40, inside the 35-yard line. And with 1:46 remaining, Greg Singham has intercepted. And against Greasy tonight, that is number 2.
Boy,
for Bingham, his 2nd of the year.
What a fantastic play by Bingham. Great anticipation. Got a good jump on the ball once it was thrown. Boy, it was a fantastic play and another example of how well the Houston team has played defensively. And, of course, Miami has played extremely well, too.
To the Miami 32, Bingham returned it. His 2nd interception of the year. 2 tonight and 22 for the year for Houston.
Boy, that's incredible. I haven't seen the Houston team play all year. This is the first time. But they're very impressive. You got to be impressed with the way they play defensively and the way they play error-free football.
Bingham played at Purdue. Here is Campbell running with the ball. Moving just inside the 30-yard line before being driven back. The fact that he played at Purdue helps you to like him, doesn't it?
Yes, no question about that.
There's a timeout on the field with 1:37 remaining with the score, Houston 9 and Miami 6.
Tennis fans all over the world expect big things when Bjorn Borg of Sweden and Jimmy Kiner's play. They are the dominant players of the late 70s, and when they've met, it's usually been for big money or a big title. But in their meetings this year, Kiner's has not been up to the advanced billing. This weekend, the Belleville, Illinois Bomber made a lot of mistakes at losing to Borg in the finals of a Tokyo tennis tournament. Kiner's didn't look particularly brilliant at Wilmington either, getting rudely pushed aside by Borg in the semifinals. There's some who believe Kiner's has passed his prime. Well, that's a strange thing to say about a man who's 27 years old. The truth may be that Jimmy's slump in the big matches is a mental thing. This means he's distracted by something or he's lost a bit of his desire. The younger Kiner's was aggressive, always looking for the kill. His game was based on crushing his opponent's ego. Now he just doesn't scare the big guys. It's not just Borg. Look at what John McEnroe did to him at Flushing Meadow, New York.
Houston in the second half has gained only 78 yards and 3 first downs. They could sure use a first down now, Hank.
Yes, they could. But boy, the way they play defensively, it's really amazing.
The ball is at the Miami 29. It's second down and 8. You would expect they'll be calling on Campbell to punch it out. 1:37 remaining in the game. Houston leading 9-6. Pastorini tosses to Campbell, running wide. And he drives inside the 25-yard line. Very close to the 22. And very close to a first down before Rusty Chambers stopped him, and Miami uses the second of their 3 timeouts. Looks like Houston has it, Hank. If they get this first down, they'll have it.
Yes, unless they fumble or do something dramatically wrong, they sure look like they're going to win this football game, and that's the first time they run outside in a long, long time. I'd come right back and run outside again from that same formation, Jack. Use as much time as I possibly could. And the way Campbell runs, he's run 30 times for 113 yards here tonight. All tough, hard yardage.
Miami very, very good against the run. Prior to tonight, on defense, they had allowed only 100 yards rushing per game. 142 through the air. Tough night for Bob Greasy with a couple of interceptions along with 2 fumbles, both by Gary Davis. 4 turnovers for Miami and none for Houston. That'll do it most of the time, won't it?
Yes, it will. And, of course, you know, you have to give Bum Phillips and his staff a lot of credit because, you know, they assess their ability very well and use what they have extremely well. Campbell is such a dominant guy, a dominant force in the game. They provide him with the opportunity to express his ability. This is what it's all about, and this is why they're doing such a great job.
Houston lost their tight end, Mike Barber, early in this game. They are now faced with 3rd down and 1 from the Miami 22, 1:27 remaining. Miami has only 1 timeout left, so a first down here would ice it for Houston if they can hang on to the football.
Well, they'll give it to Campbell left this time. Nope.
He goes to the right, and he gets a first down. He's to the 20-yard line. He's to the 20-yard line, Campbell is, and Miami uses their final timeout, but all Houston has to do is snap the ball. Now the clock still ticking away, 1:10 remaining. They do not use their final timeout. All they have to do is hang on to the football, Houston, and they will have won it here by the score of 9-6. Next Monday night, Hank Stram and I and our CBS crew will be in Texas Stadium, where the Cowboys will entertain the Philadelphia Eagles at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. We're down to 45 seconds remaining. Pastorini takes all the time in the world and now snaps the ball with only 1 second left in the 30-second clock. Hands off to Campbell. Campbell drives down to the 17 of Miami. Miami now uses their final timeout, but it'll be to no avail. 36 seconds left. Chambers was the tackler again for Miami. He's had a busy night. So this is the way it is, if we can be so presumptuous. Pittsburgh 8-2, Cleveland 7-3, Houston 7-3. New England now takes a 1-game lead over Miami. New England's record is 7-3, Miami 6-4. Buffalo next in line in that division, 4-6. No touchdowns in this game. That's surprising.
It really is. It really is, but it's not surprising the way both teams played defensively. They've got to be impressed with the way they played on defense.
Baltimore comes into the Orange Bowl here next Sunday for a game against Miami. Houston goes home with the roar of the hometown crowd, and they will entertain Oakland. This was a bitter game for Houston had they lost it because of the schedule they have ahead of them. Meanwhile, Miami still has a game against New England to be played down here in the Orange Bowl. So as long as they don't get too far off the pace, they're going to be in good shape. In fact, the New England Patriots will be playing down here on Thursday night, the 29th of November.
You know, you really have to give Shula and his gang a lot of credit because they've had a lot of injuries, but they've played terrific football under the circumstances.
Houston has rushed for 175 yards, Campbell 116 of those. Miami has rushed for only 101. Here's the snap to Pastorini. He just falls down, covers the ball. Miami can no longer stop the clock. There will be no more plays run. There are 24 seconds and less than that on the game clock now and 25 seconds on the 30-second clock. That's the end of the game between the Miami Dolphins and the Houston Oilers. The final score is Houston 9 and Miami 6.